will be coming in contact with the Covenant in 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, and on 1 you can just hear the metal like as he is backed right up next to it. The team goes, all right, here we go. And they go over and begin like cutting open this hole. Right. And you start like scanning bodies. And he says, it's true, Commander. From what I can tell, there's about 182 people still alive in those capsules in there. Seems that this piece of the ship may be running on some kind of backup generator or a cycled piece of energy. But against the back wall, the main computer set here in the medical bay has been augmented or connected to what looks like the upper half of a synthetic. Commander, I think we have a serious problem. I think there's a leak. Chaz rounds the corner, sticks his head around, and he goes, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah, he turns, another ping happens, like a steel bolt shoots out from pressure and tinks through his helmet, through his skull, and out the other side. His body goes limp and falls to the floor. And then you hear it, the cracking of steel, and the whole piece rips off. You can hear the rest of your team screaming. Commander! Ah! Ah! Right? And the ship captain goes, oops, I can't hear you, Captain. I can't hear you. Oh no! And you hear the ship undock. Well, Captain, I'm pretty sure I've been in love with you since the first time I saw you. And I feel like this might be a good time to tell you, though it might be a little late. I've never been real good with timing.
Waited till now to tell me this? I could hit you if I had the energy.
She goes, I'll do it for you if you want. Captain, do I have permission to kiss you?
Permission... What did we say? Permission granted? Yeah.
Yeah, she goes to lean over the deck to plant a kiss on you. She salutes back because like that's what she's supposed to do technically, and she's a good soldier, and she leans over to kiss you, and right before her lips touch yours, you hear the comm.
Oh,
this is Rescue Mission 9er. We are inbound. We have received your distress call. Is anybody there? I repeat, is anybody there?
I looked at her and like I smile, like her eyes light up for the first time, and she just gives her a big smooch.
And as the camera actually enters the vessel to see the captain that abandoned you and the freighter crew that went with them, that is not what we find. Instead, we hear shouting and screaming, the sounds of men, terror, gunshots, and all we see is a tail, a massive one, come out of the ceiling, and a man runs down the hallway, and he's clearly headed for an escape pod, and he passes the tail, or he passes it, and the tail drops down and juts him through the back, poking basically out of his throat forward. He gurgles as the tail lifts him up off the ground, and we see an alien staring down at him.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of Alien Emanation, where we are emanating across the stars. Wink.
Yep.
If you like what we do here, you want to support bad jokes like that, Patreon, link down below. Join that. Do the thing. Join us at the $10 level. It's the best one. While you're down there, hit us up on the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot can do what the hell she wants to us. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. That being said, there was no trailer this morning, or this start of the stream. So Dot, please recap for us.
Y'all, Mike didn't do his job, so
Wow.
I guess I'm gonna have to pick up the slack.
Okay, wow. We're just this is how
No, I will be kind and do a recap.
Dot's fired.
Well, the last time we gathered, we had a new member at the table. We got to meet Sophie Quill, the dashing commando leader that was sent by the United Americas to first recover the piece of what they believe to be the Covenant, the lost vessel of the Covenant. It was a part of the Covenant. What they found was kind of the front end of the ship, along with about 200 or so pods that had humans still in them. Unfortunately, things didn't really go as planned, thanks to a few corruption bars given by the audience. Their kind of end caps that they used to make this airtight didn't really stay airtight. There were some casualties, I guess you could say. But Sophie Quill and what was the other one's name?
Oh God, let's see if I wrote it down.
What did I call her?
Oh, what was the name that Bub liked? What was the name? Oh my God, we named her after.
Yeah, it was
I
one
did.
of Bub's people.
Wow,
Oh my God.
It's your girlfriend. You can't remember her name.
Jolene. God damn it.
JoJo.
Yeah.
JoJo. Okay, so it is Jolene. All right, yeah, and you're kind of second in command, Jolene. You and her were able to kind of barricade yourself into the only other airtight spaces. Most of this emptied into the vacuum, and that's great and all, except you weren't really alone. When you entered the med bay, which is what this was, there seemed to be years worth of experimentation happening here, and a synthetic seems to have biopsied themselves open and connected their innards to the computers here in the med bay. That's
Nice.
the best way that I know how to describe that. But it would be days and days without food or water, and lots of go fish before you and Sophie would hear the voices of the crew of the Pinocchio, along with, which you don't know at the moment, 4 additional commandos that have come along. Call them mercenaries. That's probably a better word. They're mercenaries that have come along to assure your safety, because there seems to be special interest from the man who has kind of been giving you all this information, who pulled your files to begin with, since, for whatever reason, Sophie Quill seems to have a personal connection with him. He called her his daughter. Yeah. So we're gonna pick up with the side of the Pinocchio. Actually, were y'all on a different ship? They
Yeah,
gave
we
you
were-
a ship.
we were
They
on
gave you a
theirs.
rescue ship, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah,
And
you weren't on the
ours
Pinocchio.
is with
Ace.
with Ace
Mhm.
That's
in
right.
an undisclosed location for safety reasons.
That's
Yes.
right. I have paranoia at this table.
Just military
that's right.
strategy, Dot.
Hey,
Okay.
I no complaints here. So you see probably the United America symbol like pass by the camera as this ship in empty open space kind of pulls up, and all of you, if you're standing in the bridge, kind of looking out, can see the chunk of the Covenant that is left. If you've seen a colony ship or a colonizing ship, you would recognize this pretty standard, except it's missing like 3/4 of the back end of it, which would be all the colonists. You can see they attempted to close off either end. One of it is venting into space. You can just tell by the general debris and, I don't know, the bodies of the commandos that didn't make it. And y'all had a pilot. No, who was piloting? Kitchens, were you piloting?
If it's
Can
our
you
vessel, then yeah, it probably is.
Okay, perfect. So then I'll put you at the helm, I guess.
I thought that we had a pilot because you guys were doing that weird net magnet experiment.
Oh, that's right. You fudged the magnets. That's right. They
Yeah.
did give you a pilot, one of the mercenaries. I remember
Okay.
that now because that's what you did on the way. But that being said, you do pull up and are able, like, he's not going to block off the cargo. I mean, the bridge or anything. And you hear him over the comms kind of call out, you know, this is rescue vessel. Rescue vessel. And it would be not Tracy, Sophie, you hear it, right? Of course, as it breaks up your very romantic moment.
Yes. And yeah, at that moment after the romantic moment between Jolene and Sophie, she would run over and answer the call. Hello. This is Sophie Quill. Where are you located?
The gentleman at the helm would look to probably Renan Kitchens, who seems to be in charge of this little, fiasco, in terms, and kind of hand you over the radio.
I guess Rin will probably. Hey y'all, this is Rin Blackburn, Colonial Marshal. Where Sophie is that you?
Yes, Lieutenant. I don't even know what my rank is in the Colonial Marines. I'm just making it up.
I think that was it, actually.
Lieutenant Sophie Quill of the USCMC.
All right. What is your status? How many are you? We are here on a rescue operation.
There's two of us, me and another Marine. We're trapped in the medical unit right now.
Copy that.
Not a lot of air left. I probably shouldn't talk too much.
Understood. Hey, Kitchens, can you pull up the blueprint and see what med bay they're talking about here?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. I've got it.
Okay. All right. So relative to where our rescue ship is and where they are we in the right area?
Yeah. You can see, like I said, there are a few options. You can, so more than likely the captain or the guy that's actually the pilot really would run a schematic through Mother, because the ship would be connected to a Mother system, and you'll see a kind of blue schematic pop up on a small HUD so you can see what's left of it. You can see that there are 2 levels on this piece, right? You've got kind of 2 levels worth of the body, so about 100 on each deck. The area centralized on this chunk of the ship would be the cryo chambers for what should have been the crew. And then it kind of goes to the main front end of the vessel and then kind of down and around the corner, right? Goes down into what looks like a med bay and might have possibly been some other kind like mess or some general things for the crew on this front end, but most of that has been damaged. So you can see they kind of capped the front and the end, and they seem to be trapped. And you can see a red light like oops on in the area where the med bay is, showing 2 life forms.
Okay. So then from a process perspective, we can't pressurize the exterior of the med bay to get them out safely. Like if we open the door.
If you open the door right
they'll
now,
vent it.
you could try to patch the seal they attempted to put on that failed, and reseal it and then, go in that way. I would imagine that all of you, if you scan it, Mother would even point out the hole that they originally carved to go in where the containment area was with all of the colonists, the lost colonists, what's left of them there. Because remember, their original goal was to retrieve them. That was the
Right.
actual plan.
Right.
So you could probably see where they cut a big hole, which is where they backed their vessel up to it, right? They airtight connected. So that's a hole that's open right now, venting to space. And then the kind of giant end cap they attempted, seems that the bolts like pulled free, like it wasn't secure in some way, which you could attempt to fix.
I assume we're all like on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Barden walks over and like switches the comms off. Rin, I don't want to point out the obvious here, but Where's their ship?
I don't know where their ship is. It could have been destroyed for all I know.
But
right
destroyed.
now, priority.
But if the ship was destroyed,
right.
there would be fragments of ships. They don't just implode. So.
Okay, well, maybe they do.
But
You're talking about portals forever ago, so who knows?
Okay, so if I learned anything from operating with you, is when you hear hooves, you don't think a hippopotamus, you think a horse. So what I'm saying is, it didn't implode. More than likely, it would have exploded, and there's no chunks of ship here. So where did it go? Did it leave?
It could have left. Maybe they thought there were no survivors. Could have made contact. I mean, a variety of things.
Yeah, but we just made
Why
contact
do we care about
very
that
easily.
ship right now? Explain this to me.
Because we made contact very, very easily.
There are unforeseen complications in all rescue missions.
He hits the thing back on. Hey, lady, where's your ship?
I don't know where the ship is. There was a disaster that happened a few days ago when we were sent here, and my unit was already on board the ship, the Covenant, and we lost contact with them.
All right.
You hear Jolene from the background go, "Don't lie to them. Just tell them they abandoned us."
He turns the comms off again and goes,
What does that matter? You think that matters?
It does very much matter if the military abandons their own people.
Right, okay. But we are not here to reprimand deserters, okay?
Unless they had additional passengers on the ship.
Okay, why don't you handle that recon mission while I deal with the fact that these people have run out of air because they've been out here
let me
forever.
pull my ship out of my pocket. I'll jump into that and I'll go find
I'm just saying, come up with a plan, what you want to do. I need to rescue these people and get on that ship.
Fine, do whatever.
Okay.
We could just find their ship information.
All right,
We retrieve them.
Thank you, Kitchens.
Of course.
Commander Quill. Is it Commander or Lieutenant? What is it? Which one is it? Sorry.
Is it Lieutenant? Would I be a lieutenant?
Sure, that sounds
Could we argue?
Yeah.
Okay.
One would argue that Lieutenant.
Lieutenant. Okay. All right. I need you to tell me, is there a way for me to get to you without having to seal these holes here? Because I can't pressurize the area around you. Is there any way, any other means to get into the med bay from what you can see?
I think there's only the door, the front entrance that we sealed off. There's right outside was the crew quarters, it looked like.
All right, hold on. So based on the schematics, is there a room right next to the med bay that we could use as already pressurized and get a hole in there that we can access successfully without having to patch all this? Because we don't know if that'll even hold.
That was my idea originally. I wasn't sure if that was what we wanted to go with or not. It seemed like
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well.
My memory ain't what it used to be. All right. So
Yes,
what do you think? Do we have it? Do we have a good access point?
Yes, we will likely be able to access them within moments after making breach.
Okay, let's do that. I think that's the safest precautions that we could take. I'll suit up, and who else is going on ship with me?
I am.
Well, I suppose I will as well.
Oh, all right.
I'm pretty sure we all
the martyrs the martyrs. The
wrong game. Wrong game. Doc.
Foreshadowing a little
Soon.
bit.
They you can hear your. Oh wait, she's not in charge anymore.
Nope.
Remind me of his name one more time. Too.
Enzo.
Enzo. I have that written down. It's right there. He steps up and he says, "We'll go with you."
All right.
That's
Well,
what we're here for.
Fair enough. All right, let's suit up. Bring your weapons just in case.
They have cool helmets. They all like hit the side of their helmet, like, and like
Yeah.
the,
Need
helmet
to upgrade to that.
airtight seals.
Yeah. All right, Lieutenant, we're coming for you. We're gonna come in through the right side there, not through where the door is, but through the other room that's pressurized already. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Hang tight.
You're going to be coming into what is basically a supply closet. That's what you're all going to drop down into. It's kind of right next to the med bay. There's a solid wall, which you'll need to like cut through basically, but that room is technically airtight. Now, you don't know how old the air is, but if you do all this right, you would be able to filter out that old air and filter in kind of new as you cut through. So, I need somebody to use the heavy machinery that it's going to take to cut the initial hole into the top, or really you're going to come up from the bottom, right, in this supply closet, and that will put you next door to this medical chamber.
If only I was Jake.
If only.
Yeah.
Anybody
I'm
got?
I mean,
moderately.
I got
4
no
total.
points in heavy. I got
Okay.
three
I mean,
strength,
we
yeah.
can have one of the other crew do it, but I like watching you roll.
Vince goes up and he says,
Can I help him
did someone say
stabilize?
heavy machinery?
So yeah, they all kind of look at you, like they did not expect you to step up, because of course they're all going across, so none of them can run the machinery, and this will be on you. So let's get a heavy machinery roll.
Okie dokie.
You only need the 1 success.
I don't have a lot of dice, but
Part of the cards, man.
I feel super confident.
Hey!
Told you.
That's all you needed was the 1 success. And you've not really done this before. Jake probably tried to teach you with what little you had colony side, but you do step up and you're able to
good
use
old
this
saucer
machinery.
separation.
Yeah, it basically is like a tube, right, that comes out from the side of the vessel, and it will like, when it connects up to the one above it, you lock it and magnetize it down and airtight seal it, and then you have to go up there and you weld cut away basically the outside of the room that you're going into. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, as Vince is up
cool.
there with the sparks flying from the torch, he's like whispering to himself, "Wow, I actually did this. I actually did it. Okay, okay, all right." Okay.
Now this is above you, and there is gravity currently, so this piece is gonna fall away. So I do need you to make one more roll for me.
Okay.
To get out of the way of a piece of falling metal.
Easy.
Because this is alien, right? Like all of the
Yeah.
things that could kill you in space will try to kill
Gravity,
you, like falling
never heard of
metal.
her.
Yeah. So this piece like breaks away, and you have that moment of like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I did it, and then you're like, oh, fuck.
Oh,
The
yeah.
worst corruption bar ever. Worries of aliens and marines suddenly
I
killed
got
by a
it, guys.
closet door.
Splat, like just blood everywhere. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. What kind of roll is this?
Well, how I guess to get out of the
Mobility?
way of it would be mobility. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. If I don't get a success with this amount of dice, I will be upset. Okay.
Okay.
Barely.
And it's a success on your panic, so we don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, your reflexes are really sound. You used to do this, and you kind of flatten your body against the side. Do you shout below?
I instinctively say, kind of forgot that would happen.
Yeah, there's just like a shout of
Cool.
a voice down there.
Yeah.
And this big piece of metal clang, lang, lang, langs on the bottom of the.
That was supposed to happen, guys. You can go
No
across
hands
now.
up, nothing.
No.
Only one of us is a synth here, you know.
As far as we know.
All right, enough of your
Yeah.
jokes.
Wait. Do they know he's a synth?
Isn't he obviously?
Was it
a
not
synth?
made obvious
Yeah.
in the?
I guess that's true.
'Cause
Okay.
he had a
They're not.
kill order. Remember, that
We-
was the
we-
whole thing of
Yeah.
like me.
We had the
and
conversation.
kitchens.
We had the conversation in front of the military.
Oh, you're
guys.
right.
The
Yeah, you're
guy,
right. So they would have. I'm
commander.
just
Yeah.
thinking
If
they
they don't
needed
know
to
at this
take
point,
some
then-
stress.
Oh, yeah.
Based on having like not known he was a synth until he was like, I'm a synth in the holding. So okay, they're a little stressed out about it. Okay. They also don't like that joke because they're very squishy in comparison to
Yeah.
that synth.
Not my
All right.
problem.
All
I
right.
bleed just like you guys. It's fine. I promise. Mine just lacks certain
It's-
pigmentation.
White.
Alternative.
Yeah.
They don't like that. Vince, you're able to kind of like climb down what is basically like a makeshift ladder that kind of goes up this tube. And when you get there, they do something cool, like shoot like a gun, and it like,
Yeah. Whatever.
you know,
Mhm.
they all fly up with their cables and their, batarangs or whatever.
And you said that we
Um,
have attached and entered effectively what is a supply closet, right?
Yeah, you're coming up through the
Because-
floor. Shut up, Mike. Through of the floor of a supply closet.
Immediately,
it-
what
They
comes to
do
mind?
something cool, like shoot a
in-
gun.
Then they like
And
ride the
batarang.
cable to the top. They look badass.
Vince is
Yeah.
reminded of the time when was with Jake/Ben in the supply closet, and that was when they messed around with the staple gun and the radio control car. That was in like the janitor's closet. So when we get into a room that looks a lot like that, Vince kind of has a flashback and
Yeah,
says,
that like flash moment.
Yep, and says, "All right, guys, we can go in. I think we're good."
All right, nice work, Vince. Good job.
Thanks.
You want to take it to this wall here so we can get it, Lieutenant?
Can you say that again? What?
Get at this wall right here.
Okay.
It was so southern. I was even trying to process that out of him.
It's only
Practicing, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Another wall over there.
It's been like 3 days for me, so
It's like Finn Boonhauer.
yeah.
Just wait until I start dropping the Southern one-liners on you.
Yeah.
I have
So
no idea
is
what
she
I'm
right
fucking
in
saying.
that I will need to also well, it's not welding. What's the opposite of welding? Because welding is when you're closing
cut.
something.
You got to
right?
like torch cut through the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So
so
basically,
yeah, I do that.
yeah. So y'all don't have super cool like awesome propel guns that pull you up to the next level. So you'll all have to climb the ladder the same way Vince came down. And when you get up there, you can see they have already they've secured the room. They're all like in all four corners. They're like doing the thing they do. They've looked around all the corners, and you come into a supply closet. There's kind of steel metal shelving along the center. And then of course you have those like perfect white lockers, like from Alien Isolation. You know what I'm talking about? Those like perfectly rounded corner ones, like all along the walls. Some of them are open and stuff spilled out, but most of them remain closed. Most of the space seems untouched altogether. If there were people on the ship, they left supplies behind, which should be noted. But the room is safe, and you can feel the stale air like being sucked down this tube and cleared out into the vessel below. I'm gonna need another heavy machinery to cut through the wall.
Got you.
Two of these mercenaries come over and they like move this supply shelf to the side and out of your way. Sophie, you and Jolene will hear the sound of that like creaking metal. You can see they're coming from the like far wall.
All right, here we go. Second time's a charm. No, it's not.
Oh, I love this. This is perfect. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, how bad do I want to make this? Do we have a corruption bar yet, Mike?
Yeah.
Yep.
We do? We do?
We do.
Sophie, you look over and you're like, oh, they're coming through that. Uh-oh. That wall is a giant water tank.
Oh.
So they're coming through the wrong side. So you
I like start to yell like wait, and it's probably too late at that point.
It's on the other side of this this like I don't know, industrial
Almost through,
size
guys.
like water, which currently holds some of the unique scientific experiments that whoever was doing on this vessel. Now they're all very much dead. It's kind of like formaldehyde and water, but Vince, you do cut the first thing, and then something like spits, and it tanks on your like the helmet, and you're not sure what it is, and it starts leaking water. The one crack that you.
Okay. Whoa! What is it? What is it?
Vince instinctively like puts his hands up to seal and stop this from leaking. Like that's gonna
It's
do
now
something.
spraying on the two mercenaries that you have standing on
What
either
did we
side.
And Vince is like, I don't got it. I go.
Okay. Just hold that. Kitchens, ideas, perhaps. Quick thinking.
Can we go round?
Yeah, but we need some. Can someone, as I'm like holding the water
Do we
back,
have
I
something?
say, can someone just like, does the plasma
does
torch
the
work
fluid
the other
do
way?
anything?
Can you like weld it shut? Maybe.
Is it doing like is the consistency of the fluid? Is it actually doing anything?
Hold on.
Barton's like eating
What
a
was
snack in the
that?
background.
Yeah, he gets his gum, takes his,
Oh,
takes his
okay.
mask off, and
take his
everything.
gum. Oh.
Wow.
So it is, from what you can tell, I imagine Kitchens, you have something, or maybe even your helmets tell you like atmosphere and stuff. Your helmet's going to tell you that it's basically formaldehyde and water, like old formaldehyde and water. as it's spewing out. The crack is gonna just spew unless somebody has some way to like weld it back shut. You can try to exit the I mean, all of you are in suits, so you can breathe out there. The problem is when you pop the door to the med bay, it may not be. It's obviously not going to be safe for our dear Sophie, and you have no way of like pressurizing it like you do this room here. So you could just let the water out. You don't know how much is on the other side, but you know that the other side of wherever it's coming from is going to have another wall, so you could just puncture through again to the other side if you can withstand the water, and your suits should probably allow you to do that.
This is likely just a tank. It's a very good chance that based on the consistency and the texture, while it's incredibly dated, I don't think that it will fill this room any more than probably past ankle height.
All right. So what? We should just let it leak out?
Well, we risk injuring, if not killing them, if we try to puncture through without a proper seal.
Right, I agree. Quick question. Can we, the ship that we came in on, I don't know nothing about that one. Can we turn gravity off in there?
In this vessel?
Yeah, the one that's connected to the tube at the bottom. Not right now, but later.
Are you asking if we can turn off the gravity in the Covenant?
No. In the Titus ship we took here.
Oh, yes. We likely have, at least in certain rooms, yes.
Then it'll be easy cleanup. Just let the damn thing out. Come on. Let's go.
All right, Vince, make another roll. Try
down below. There's some kind of liquid coming at you. Just let you know.
Try to like get behind like the table.
yeah, okay.
Brace ourselves.
Let's not take that out of context. Okay, what am I doing? Another heavy machinery?
Correct.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Give us another one.
Nope.
Oh, you start to get, and the water it's hard. Like as you continue to cut, it just like it's spewing more and more on you.
It's putting out the torch. Like
yeah, you can't quite keep it like lit. It's becoming a problem. What kind of y'all bought a bunch of weapons, right? You wanted a bunch of really random things. What did you have? Y'all had magnetizing guns.
Mostly,
you had the
incendiaries.
nets.
To be fair, it's a magnetized net. I don't think the net's going to stop the water.
No, not gonna stop the
net's
water.
not gonna help.
Or it's a very bad net. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what happens? Our dear lady.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't use this system too much, but I just remembered. Could I try to push? What does that do?
Yes.
Yes. You take a stress. You absolutely can always push. You take a stress, and you can re-roll, but you have to re-roll with that new stress. So you just mark another stress box.
Why not?
And you try again.
Eager to prove himself. I
love this. This is the perfect use. Perfect use of adding a stress. The water's spewing. It's like hitting your helmet. You can smell the formaldehyde, though obviously it's not affecting you because of the suit you wear. And you amp the torch up. Just turn it up to 11, and you begin fighting the amount of water that's coming through. And you get all the way around, and you step to the side. The cap lets free, right? It's a hole now. The water pours out, but along with it come a bunch of face huggers. Dead, but they pour out all over the floor.
Ren instinctively takes her gun out and is like,
yeah, I imagine that they all do the moment they come pouring out. And Vince, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'm so sorry I'm picking on you right now. Make another mobility check. This is what you get for wanting to do the heavy machinery.
Yeah, that's what I get.
Nothing too bad. Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay, I need you to roll a panic. Just quick roll me a panic check. Let's hit that panic table. Thrace. Okay, so you keep it together, but you do manage to like get out of the way. The piece falls, the water comes out, but one of them comes pouring out and smashes into the face piece of your like this limp face hugger just splats across your helmet, and you have a full moment of probably PTSD, I imagine, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I would say Vince he keeps it together enough as we could see to still hold the plasma torch, but I would say instinctively he runs into the room that he just cut a hole into because he sees them flowing out into the room that we're in, so he wants to go the other way.
Like the water tank.
I imagine it's like a toss. You like get it off of you, right? And Ren, they open fire with you. If you start shooting these things on the ground,
she literally just pointed at it.
Okay. Yeah. They do the same thing. When you draw weapons, they draw weapons.
Barden comes over comms and he says, "Okay, all right, everybody, listen up. I'm gonna say this as calmly as I possibly can. Not you." And he like looks to Rin and Kitchens and wherever Vince went. "The rest of you, I swear to whatever's out there, if I see one of these on the ship, if you try to smuggle it in your jacket or your pants or whatever, I will vent the entire ship with all of us in it." And he starts to like kick them into a pile. All the face huggers.
They have
Don't touch it.
Now, Vince, as you run through to the other side, what you don't know is there is a giant plastic glass wall. And in your panic, you kind of thud right into boom, and you see on the other side
Rescue's
the image.
here. So
Guys, I'd like to take this moment.
Stuttered through looking back, right, in this panic, and you kind of gunk into the other side of this very dense, like plastic that is used at like aquariums and stuff to hold massive amounts of water. And you can see on the other side for the first time Sophie Quill and her first in command, Jolene. They look very tired. They look very emaciated. And plastered on the wall behind them is something you've never seen before. It is the upper torso of some kind of synth. It's like pried open. It's peeled and like almost crucified to the wall. And it's like innards are all connected to the computer system at the far end of the med bay.
And it has Kitchen's head on.
What is, I was about to say, what's the lighting situation like right now?
It's really dark in here. The only thing you're getting is floor runners because there's no real power left. Like it's running on backup power to just keep these colonists alive.
Could we say that we all have like helmet flashlights or something?
Yeah, you could click your helmet flashlight on.
Yeah. I thunk into the glass wall and then vaguely see just shapes. So I turn on my flashlight. And then I'm supposing I see Sophie and Jolene, and then that thing above them.
Yeah, on the wall, like above
I
their head.
probably gasp again, and I'm like, I turn around to our crew and I say, "Guys, I think they're here."
Okay.
And
do we need to deal with this plastic?
Yeah. I start cutting the other side.
Well, there's a in the top, right? Because it's a tank. It would be like one of those
opening,
sure,
like an opening that you could get to. You might need a little help. It's probably a smidge above your head. Like if there were water in here, you'd have no problem because you'd be up at the top. But you can all come through for anybody that wants. And one of the mercenaries will give you a boost if necessary to just like undo the lid. And you kind of toss it open, and all of you are able to help one another out. Sophie, for the first time in days, you can feel fresh air. You can feel it. It comes like it begins sucking all of this disgusting old dusty air out, down this tank, out and through the
formaldehyde scented air.
Yes, the formaldehyde scented air. Yes. And I imagine the two of them don't smell great. And this synth has been here along with all its many experiments, which you can also smell, which have rotted over time and been left to just decay.
Is that an art project of yours? Pointing at the synth on the wall.
This thing, I've been staring at it for the past 3 days, so I haven't even thought twice about it.
It's not alive, is it?
No, it's been like this since we got here. We found it like this.
Kitchens?
Yeah,
there
it looks
is an interesting experiment you got to take a look at over here.
Like,
Ren will get some like the bar rations out and give him to Sophie and Jolene.
Yeah, Sophie, who's like probably like has her arm to help Jolene, like she's kind of like stumbling a little bit, will like take it and just start like eating.
Yeah, the two of them.
Probably some fresh water too, I imagine. Like a bottle.
So you're able to kind of give them some sustenance, but as they like, I imagine the both of you kind of scarf it down. You can see they were playing cards. There's like cards on the ground. Kitchens. Do you go over and check out the science project?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what the hell not, right?
Sure.
Your helmet light pans up and hits this thing on the wall. It is your face, so you would know before anybody else. It's still like parts of the face are missing. Some of them have been opened up to like plug the head into certain bits and parts, but like that is a David model. Which one you do not know?
Oh, well, nothing quite like looking in the mirror.
Does he say that out loud?
Yep.
Sophie, Jolene are both going to take a bit of stress because you're staring at us. You just realized that this man, Kitchens, is a synth. So
Wait.
take a bit of stress.
You're him. You're one of
Vince
him.
That's Kitchens.
kind of steps in between Sophie and Kitchens, and presumably if Jolene's next to Sophie too, and Vince says, "Yeah, I can explain. Here, come over here for a second. You guys have been in this room for a long time."
Yeah.
And Vince will try to move them away from the crucified android that they were sitting under.
Yeah.
Also, Vince wants to set up an easy way for us to get maybe some sort of like lean over a shelf or something, an easy way for us to get through that tank.
You
both
could technically
directions.
cut it open now that you're in, right? Basically, you
Yeah,
just
I
needed
s-
to like
I start
pressurize
doing
it.
that,
So
and I say to Sophie, yes, he's a synth. He's here to help us. He obviously can also tell us some stuff about what that was too, I think. I'm Vince, by the way.
Hi, Lieutenant Quill, Sophie Quill.
Mhm.
Are you sure it's safe for him to be looking at that?
What do you mean?
I don't. Look, we don't have a lot of those synths around. I just don't know if this will activate anything, or I don't know. I'm just
Vince
worried.
You know,
turns around and
You didn't have a lot of
Kitchens.
air either. Hopefully, by the end of this, you'll be clutching for both.
Vince says
Sophie,
if it's any consolation, he's technically defective.
Is that supposed to make me feel better? That he's defective?
He does not answer to some sort of like
Okay,
well,
that's
Wayland Yutani hive mind, if that's what you're thinking.
that's reassuring.
Like I'm,
But
I'm
yeah,
right,
Vince
I'm
is
right
just
here.
cutting open the tank.
I'm just
Barden,
gonna stand
I'm
back.
trying to help you, Vince, or Kitchens. I can't even talk.
Barden is gonna walk over to Vince and slowly lower the torch. Like,
What?
kid, I don't want to alarm you or everyone else, but it occurs to me that the liquid that we are foot deep in is formaldehyde, and while there is no
Is it
heat-
flammable?
Yeah, the gases are very flammable,
Oh.
and while there is no heat source here on the ship, it will eventually evaporate and fill the entire room with flammable gas. So, please don't fire your weapons here for any reason on the
Are you
counter.
kidding me right
You're-
now?
Okay.
Not
or,
even a little bit.
Or fire him. Or fire him and find
You
out.
know,
Okay.
it helps to have a
Can we-
scientist.
Okay.
You know, thanks. kid.
Maybe I can go back in the ship on our ship and maybe like find a way to safely vent or like do some sort of like recirculation of the air or something.
That nonsense is in our ship to get out. We cannot have a flammable ship.
Well, when we seal our ship,
I
we
mean,
can
there's
vent
no
it.
better way to get rid of something than to just vent your vessel.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
We can clear
How
the airlock.
can we like do we have on our ship that we came with like stores of oxygen in tanks? Like could we temporarily
I mean,
stop
technically,
the
the
release of
suits
that
that you're
oxygen?
in
Yeah.
have like small oxygen tanks on them because they're meant for like rescue missions. So you're all suited in. I mean, other than Kitchens, who technically doesn't need it, if he wants it, but
Yeah.
the rest of you would have suits, and you'll have to
And
probably
Sophie, who's just breathing in that formaldehyde.
Yeah, so basically you would want to go back to your vessel. You could, I mean, all the water dropped down into it anyways, right? Like that, you had a hole, it dropped through the floor and is now down in what is basically the cargo bay of your vessel. So you could airtight seal it and just vent it, and then get the hell out of here. You could reseal this room up, right? You could put the door back and just seal it off, and then all the formaldehyde gases are here.
Okay.
There are various options.
Poor Sophie is just smelling pickles.
Regards to
Smells
that, Kitchens, do you do anything with this?
Well, I mean, I just wait for the immediate like sticker shock of another synth in the room, and I don't want to try to move too fast. Like I'm afraid that
Yeah.
there might be some sort of like bizarre response. He's probably muttering under his breath at this point, like, yeah, I mean, he's right. It high accounts of methanol would likely be incredibly flammable, but it's been like 60, 70 years. It's likely that its shelf life has ended. It's probably not immediately flammable, even the fumes. What do I know? This wasn't my job or anything, as I'm like slowly pulling wires off of the old one.
Oh, you're trying to like you're gonna undo him and take him from the computer?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to roll for that, just
Okay.
for a couple reasons. I will take either a Medicaid or a Comtech roll.
Oh, well.
I will take either.
If I fail this, my lord, I will be let
You
down.
can always push as long as you don't
I
roll
can't.
panic.
I can't.
Oh,
push.
right, because you were sealed.
You were not a
Hey!
Oh.
Okay, so you rolled medical aid. Okay, so things that you're going to note. It looks like maybe Sophie and our dear Jolene managed to get some power rerouted in here. So they basically kind of took power in, which means that the computer system still works. From what you can tell, this synth probably self did this. This was a self-driven thing. The only thing that you can't figure out is maybe why its hands are pinned, because you can't pin your own hands in that regard. But the rest of this seems like they could have done it themselves. The main, I guess the mainframe, the head of this is plugged into the like mainframe of this computer here in the med bay. If it was attached to a larger vessel, it would have been directly it could have directly tapped into Mother that way. The rest of the ship is, of course, missing, so you're not entirely sure. But from what you can tell, it was alive for a long time after it did this. So it survived alive for a while, and in some kind of stasis, connected to the computer system of the Covenant.
Okay.
How long? Well, you got 3 successes. This has been here. I mean, you can pull computer records and it'll show you that it hasn't been accessed in like 85 years.
Yeah.
Give or take. This body has probably been pinned to the wall for the last 15 or so. Undisturbed from what you can tell until like recently. Like you can see Sophie and Jolene's handprints and footprints and stuff, but most of this in here has been undisturbed.
Can I look at you said the hands were pinned.
Yep.
Is it that his hands were pinned, or that he may have self-punctured and pushed his hands down?
Oh, that's a good question. Based on the fact that there is a lot of other Medicaid done to the body to like open himself up and those kinds of things. From what you can tell, based on what's in the room, he used some kind of bolt gun to pin the main portion of his body like to the wall.
Okay.
And then would have used a bolt gun to get one hand in and slammed the last one to the wall. He pushed himself here.
Gotcha. And that wasn't done by someone else, a third party. It was done by himself.
Right.
And I am aware that the David unit was the first. Are there any markings or anything that would look like wounds or something?
Oh, you know what? I lied to you, bub. I lied to you. He's missing a hand.
Okay.
He's missing his left hand. So he would have had to bolt it to the wall and then slam the right hand, but the left hand is basically like it's just like draped. The arm is like draped.
Gotcha.
Like maybe through the wrist, but there is no hand.
Okay. All right, that's good to know.
That's actually super important.
You said the torso down is vacant, right? Like he's just kind of like hanging here. There's no like below. Can I? This might be a little graphic for some, but can I follow the spinal column to look at the numbers, the model?
Yeah. You can see. Well, you rolled really well. You can see that there's actually explosive damage.
Oh.
Like there's damage done to the bottom of the body as if it was actually lost. You can see that a lot of the spinal column, along with the tubing on the inside, were drug. Like some of them hang lower than the waist, like the hips where it was like blown open. So you can tell that there was like massive trauma damage from an explosion of some kind, and possibly it drug itself in here.
Okay.
After 100 years, it's hard to like find a trail of that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
But from what you can tell, that more than likely this was not a clean cut. Right, he didn't cut his own legs off. More than likely there was an explosion. This synth lost its legs, and then it found itself in this state.
Okay. Can I check? I'd like to see like this the model of this, if this was David 1 or a much later date.
You dig, wait, y'all, all of you watch as the sound of like, as Kitchens reaches deep into the like
Nice.
chest of this David model and basically moves the inside back so that you can see the spinal column. And there on the spinal column, really close, Kitchens, you can shine your light on it, is the first David model. It is here pinned to the wall.
Okay. Can I, knowing what I am, knowing what I'm capable of, can I look to see if this was more or less an imposter? Like the first David model may have made a second, listing it as the first to hide his existence.
You're muted.
I thought
You
all
dig.
my
Nope.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
that was me. Sorry. You dig around, looking for signs of this being basically like a fraud or a second version, and you find something much more interesting. Near
Okay.
the spine, where his serial number, right, the like O1 serial number is, you find something that you've never found on the inside of another synth. I don't know how frequent Kitchens digs around on the inside of other synths. Maybe it's a frequent thing that we just don't know about. But you find like a stamp there, like
A seal.
a seal, basically like pressed into the metal plate that is on his back. It dates pre-Wayland Utani. It is Wayland's
Wayland.
personal stamp of approval, basically. This is his David.
This is incredibly valuable. Arguably more than the entire vessel.
Sorry, what? She comes over to Kitchens and kind of lowers her voice. That's a very bold statement. You want to clue me in on what's going on?
He'll actually hush his voice for the first time, not trying to share the information, and kind of lean in, hiding his face behind yours. This is the first synth. This is Wayland's synth.
Before, we're talking like 100 years ago kind of deal. Maybe older.
I'll show the seal. That's Wayland before Utani.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with your assessment. You think it's worth salvaging?
I think that a particular company would silence nations of living to have this back.
Then I definitely think it's worth salvaging. And discreetly once we get everybody out of this room.
Lieutenant Quill?
Yes.
What are the odds that you have an active map or have discovered the flight, either a flight path or a home for us to potentially discover where this vessel may have been going? I'd like to ascertain its black box.
I don't know if I found anything like that.
Granted, your team never quite made it to go to the bridge. Does that make sense? Like, crazy things happen before you actually manage to be able to get to a point where you could have run that level of diagnostic.
We weren't able to gather that information before everything went to shit.
All right. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get everybody out of this room, get y'all safe on the vessel, get your replenish, your energy out. We'll do a quick sweep of the area, make sure there's no other people hanging about and whatever's, and then head on back. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Are we going back to the commander? Were you all sent here?
Yeah, we were.
Sophie's eyes kind of light up for a second.
Yep. He didn't leave you.
Okay, I'm ready to go. We're ready to go. Let's go.
Okay.
We
You
can't
four,
leave just yet.
right there. You three, secure this area. You, sir, and she points to Enzo. Y'all, you coming with us? Me, Kitchens, we're gonna go this way. You come with us, and then Vince, do you wanna help sweep another area of the ship here, or with Barden, or you guys want to get back on the vessel and deal with the whole formaldehyde situation?
I was gonna. Well,
or you
yeah,
could say,
I'll
I guess.
I'll handle the gas.
We can neutralize.
Uh,
We have acid neutralizers. We can drop this down and bring the salinity down to such a level that it will not be a problem.
All right, but Barden.
Joel literally asked for like buckets of acid neutralizer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got such a low
Got a
pH.
surplus
It
over
would
here.
be easy to drop. It would be really, really easy to drop. Like a tablet's worth would probably bring the formaldehyde
Yeah,
down
just
to
like
some
just
level.
you could spread it out and yeah, it would be no
Okay.
problem.
All right, so you guys have your mission. We got ours. We're just gonna do a quick area surveillance here, okay?
So Sophie, you realize maybe now that you're a little out of shock, you've got food on your belly. You and Jolene both, that the mercenaries that they sent are have a bit of a reputation. Usually it's led by this woman who is not a very nice person. She's got, like I said, she's got a bit of a reputation. But it seems that command has shifted and she seems really pissed about it. Enzo, who was her second in command, your father seems to have left him in charge.
Interesting.
But they will help the two of you out and down, into the ship. The four of them are totally capable of spreading like neutralizer, and I imagine there's a drain of some kind, like the cargo deck could be sprayed like down and that kind of stuff, so they can handle that if need be. Does anybody else want to go back to the ship, or is everybody gonna stay here and deal with David?
Vince is gonna do whatever he needs to do to handle the formaldehyde. So if that means going back on the ship to go get whatever this neutralizer is, then...
Sure. Kitchens will just give you like the shakedown. It's quite literally like a tub of tablets that you can just bring on board and crack and drop in the formaldehyde.
Yeah.
It's a slow process, but it's more than enough to neutralize.
Okay. So Vince will go and grab 6 tablets.
Yeah.
And then use one to...
I imagine that. I mean, you're also you would know what's on here. Like ships like this are gonna have different kind of safety precautions for like getting rid of chemicals and things. So I imagine you drop tablets like into something that you can like shake up and like spray down, right? Like you can like liquefy it and like spray it down or something. So
yeah.
I imagine now Sophie, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jolene is gonna help you do that. Like when you both get back and manage to put like a helmet on, basically. The mercenaries are far more interested in getting the people out, so you can see they start running diagnostic scan, like who's still alive, so forth and so on.
Okay.
And they keep shooting you some side eye, Sophie, because they came all this way, and like, where is everybody else, and where's the ship? And there's like a lot of questions the mercenaries have, but we'll say Sophie and Jolene and Vince are left to kind of clear some of the chemical backlash.
Okay.
If there's anything you want to say, because you get back up here and now, Vince, you also see in the corner is the pile of these like face huggers just like laying there.
Since you mentioned it, I do want to look if they were altered in some way or experimented on.
Oh, look at Vince getting a little curious now that he's not in a state of panic. Okay, this is very exciting.
Yeah, very true.
I'm
like,
I'm gonna just have you roll an observation to start.
Okay. All right. 1 and a panic.
Okay.
So roll the panic.
Roll the panic. Oh, okay. Oh, yes, we finally got something on the panic table. Tracy, just so you know, the panic table, when you roll it, there is a table. It's under the handout, so that if you want to see it. So that's an 8. Sophie, you're standing there and you're watching Vince, and y'all are spraying this thing down. I imagine it kind of looks like one of those pumps. You know, the way you spray like pesticide.
One of the janitor like windshield wipe like cleaners
basically,
or something.
and you just dropped this like so you're kind of spraying down this area, this deck, trying to kill all the formaldehyde. And you get over to the corner and you see there's probably 5 or 6 of them. And your helmet beams straight down on them, and there's a moment where you question if one of them moved. That scary moment. It's like, is the picture watching me? And you're like, no, they're definitely dead, because you can see they have in fact been sliced open. They have in fact, some of them have limbs right? One of their legs cut off. One of them has a new one augmented on. They all look a little different, and you're not exactly sure. They like any organic creature, they don't seem to be coming out exactly the same, or he's augmenting them in some way. He's breeding them down, right? He's messing with DNA. But your panic, like staring at it, you can't hold down the panic. And Sophie, you begin to watch as Vince's hand starts to tremble uncontrollably. At an 8, you start to tremble uncontrollably, and skill rolls using any agility will suffer a -2 until your panic stops. So basically, for this scene, Vince will be in a rather large state of panic, and you can see it. Trying to spread this. It's kind of going everywhere, and there's a fear that takes over, a primal fear.
I would say, Sophie, you see that I'm as I'm spraying it down, I stop spraying and then I stare at these creatures, and then all you see is I'm just staring into space at these creatures and shaking, and I don't even seem to realize the state that I'm in. I'm just stuck. Staring.
Sophie immediately, once you begin trembling like that, just like, whoa, hey, oh, and
what?
like put like a hand on your shoulder, like, it's okay.
Hi.
Those
What?
things are dead.
Whoops.
They're dead.
Yeah.
Do you want me to like take care of this portion or something? Are you all right?
Did you see any of those anywhere else?
No. That's the first time I'm seeing something like this in my
Are you
life.
sure? Are you positive?
Yeah. These things were like dead in this tank.
Okay.
I have no idea what this is.
If you do see one, then don't get near it. Don't let it get near you. Don't, it's not good.
If I see one of those things, the first thing they'll see is my gun.
Okay. Yeah. If you see me do that again, then please interrupt me. I kind of got lost.
Now Jolene goes, "What? You're afraid of these?" And she like reaches down and picks one up by its tail.
No.
And
Don't.
it's like it's like hanging. She goes, "Look, it's dead. It's totally dead."
Put it down, please.
She
Put it down.
plunks it in like a biohazard container that has the lid off of it, and she goes, "Look, look, bye." And she like drops one.
Thank you.
And she drops another one, and she's picking them up out of this pile and putting them like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And she clicks the lid closed, which then like seals around the edges, and she goes, knocks on it. Like,
she
wrong
likes
with it.
to take a more direct approach to problems.
She goes, look, if it's dead, it's dead.
Yeah.
Have you seen one of these things alive before? You seem to be pretty frightened by it.
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
The hell?
It's not, it's kind of why we're here. We're not, you may have noticed that I'm, an 18-year-old kid.
We weren't going to say something.
Was that Jolene or Dot?
Yeah, that was Jolene. I got tickled at the kid. Yeah, Jolene kind of says it under her breath.
Yeah. There's a lot we have to explain to you. But like I said, I think the most important thing is if you see anything that looks like that, you shoot it. And you yell for us, you get away from it. It's probably why this ship has been gone for so long. It's like a, I don't know.
Well, y'all have plans to save the people, right?
I mean, the only people we sensed coming in were you two, and then apparently
all the colonists. There's like Dot gave it up 200 and 184. 184. Yeah. 180. There's 180
Those
of
are
them left.
Further in the ship, but we're not supposed to get them. We don't have the room for them. We're just supposed to get you guys.
What they're gonna
and then go back. They're gonna tug the ship in.
But if good.
These things are here. I gotta go. Can you guys just don't leave or go anywhere? I think we should go. And Vince puts down the spray and he kind of like looks at them and walks off to try to find Rin and Kitchens.
Yeah, there's that moment, and as you leave, the camera like cuts through the hole you cut and like up and out the plastic, and to back into the medical bay where Barden and Rin and Kitchens are sorting out this original David model. Now, with the role you made, Kitchens, you're going to be able to disconnect and bring this body back in relatively good condition, at least in the best condition it can be left in, right? Because it's been here for a while. There's like a body bag if you wanted to like zip it up or something, you could like tote it in to keep it safe.
I was gonna say Rin actually probably went down and unloaded one of the cargo box, like one of those tug away, like pickable, you can pick it up, and brought it up to Kitchens because she doesn't want people to poke around at this David model. And at that point, after she did that, she would have gone to get Enzo so they could do a sweep around on the other side where the closet was.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I plan on exiting the safety zone. You're welcome.
Great. Okay, cool. Barden, do y'all say anything? Do y'all just watch as Kitchens like pulls it off the wall? Do y'all say anything?
Barden, while like Rin's going to get her boyfriend, wink, and Vince is being traumatized. Barden will look to Kitchens for like just a second and be like, "Are you good over there?"
I mean, I suppose as good as I can be when you discover your maker mounted to a wall.
Yeah. Do you need physical and or moral support of any kind?
I don't think that would suffice at the moment.
Okay,
Some
great.
things just takes time to eerily enough digest.
If you want to talk, I'm available for whatever kind of ha-to-ha you like to have. In the meantime, if you want to do...
What would you do?
Oh, God, I was hoping that wasn't the question. What would I do with the...
You shouldn't offer if you didn't.
You're right. Okay, you got me there. I did offer my services as a talking person. What would I do with this situation? I would... First of all, I would probably leave it mounted to the wall only because it is of a better visual height, and since it is already splayed open in the case of like an autopsy kind of situation here, that would be the most makes sense to me. I would also try to figure out why it would plug itself into the ship. One would presume the ship was equipped with some kind of mother equivalent, being a colony ship at one point, even though this is one half of one, unless of course the mother brain server was on the ass end of the ship, which is no longer attached, in which case it would need a new brain, and why not have sun brain or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. And then also, more importantly, maybe my thought process here, but I'm not a synth, these fucking aliens.
So I have some theories.
What's it doing with the aliens in formaldehyde? We're doing experiments on aliens now? That's not great.
I have some theories.
Yeah, go ahead. Your turn.
Primarily with the most obvious.
Yeah.
He's mounted here for the sake of his body not falling in case of something such as a collision or an accident, an explosion, of which I believe had occurred in its past. Their past.
Yep. That would explain the legs, I would imagine. Yes.
There is some curling on the flesh, which leads me to believe that there was an accident regarding flame.
I have a question, possibly insensitive. I'm not entirely sure. How long do you live without your fluids?
We're not supposed to live very long at all, from my immediate understanding.
Yeah, I didn't
Typically,
think so.
our shelf life exhausts after, well, honestly, before 20 years.
Right. But if your fluids empty out of your tubes...
How long will you survive with your fluids emptying out of you?
Very, very short amount of time.
We are one and the same in this regard.
So what was he doing up there for a very short amount of time that seems very important without his lower half and his tubes leaking?
He was instituting his last directive, whatever it is that he felt was most valuable at the time. Which he seems seemed was his own person. And he broke away after finding himself similarly defective.
I have a terrifying thought that I don't even want to voice. Kitchens, if you have your vast knowledge stores here of aliens, and you were, any emotions towards David, doing experiments on aliens to, I don't know, make them better, more effective, more legs. I'm not sure what the hell he was doing. And you were dying, and you liked fucked up creatures like this, what would your last directive be if you were of the experimental mindset vis-a-vis aliens? Because my thought is, if I'm got a couple screws loose here, my final directive would be pilot the ship back as close to civilization as possible and see what happens.
There was an accident. We can clearly see that much with the rear side of the vestibule destroyed, with the body here in its half state. I don't believe, admittedly I do not know, but I do not believe that he had discovered the capacity at enhancing himself. I don't think that that was his goal.
No, I'm talking about enhancing the aliens. If you had a ship full of enhanced aliens and you were going to die and you didn't want to see your experiments go to waste, would your last directive in the moments that he was dying, would they not be pilot ship back towards civilization and see what happens?
Asking me if I were him, what would I have done given his state?
Yeah.
If I had to put myself in his shoes, no, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I don't think that I would have piloted it back. Whatever this creature is, it is a superior hunting predator. And it depends exactly what he was attempting to create, what he was attempting to discover. So I don't see utility in being a parent, unless, of course, that's all it means to be alive.
Well, then I guess the answer to the question you had originally asked me, what I would do, is find out what he was doing.
Of course, I would like to do that. It will have to be under some very, very supervised and careful observational situation. I am afraid that as simple as it is for me to place myself within files of information, or vice versa, that within me, I am afraid of what might happen if I combine our minds.
Yeah,
I'm afraid not for me. Pardon, I'm afraid for you.
Okay. What is it? I'm sorry, are you saying combine your mind with my mind, or your mind with his mind? I'm a little...
Pardon?
You got me confused on the minds.
Pardon, this is my father.
I mean...
This is my mother. This is my creator. This is the God of my world.
I mean, I guess you could...
And if you, as a scientist,
yeah,
could tap in to the birthplace of that knowledge, but by doing so, it meant that you sacrificed yourself, would you?
Oh, see, I don't have a PhD. I have a doctorate in science. You're talking about philosophy and the God complex and a whole. That's above my thing. No, I don't think I would personally. That's why I focused mainly on rocks until we found aliens, and then I was like, that's probably dangerous more so than rocks.
Pardon, somewhere along the line, I'm trying to determine if my creator actually created a system of error, or if he failed to finish his project. And all I can do is assume that he erred, that there was an error in his ways.
I mean, technically speaking, this didn't actually physically create you a man and, and a series of other robots.
No, Barden, he did. I didn't say anything.
I'm not really sure what that means.
When you asked me what my first memory was, when Vince asked me what my first memory was, David made me. He made me.
Now, man, this is a rabbit hole. Now, are we sure it was this David or another model?
I'm certain.
Okay, well, fuck. Okay, so I feel like it's probably for the best for everyone's interest that maybe we don't. We take a step over here, and we leave God sent alone for a little bit. You know, that's probably not great for you to. I don't know how your brain works and processes emotions. Usually, synths don't have them, but you're also seemingly far too old to be functioning if you're a David model, as far as my recollection is. And so I'm not sure if you have empathetic capabilities, and you got a lot of God complex things already happening. And I feel
I'll
like.
be honest with you, Barton. I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Seeing as how there's very few of us here, I can be honest with you, and not the fear of anything else occurring. I'm not entirely certain that I'm not the first David, and I rerouted my own mind, and this was my creation. We don't know why I've managed to live this long.
Yeah.
All I know is that I've been able to swap my parts when things go awry.
Okay. Well, this is a weird question. I never had to ask before. Is there a way that I can get into your spine and see your serial number?
Not without likely some long-term injury. If
Okay,
we
well,
had,
I prefer not to do
if we
that.
had, there might be a method, but it will require a very small incision. Likely, will require a camera and a pinhole light. But
Okay. I don't have any of those.
And I also forgive me for this, Barton, but I would need to trust someone with a very still hand. And though you are quite literally a master in yoga at this point, I don't trust
true.
the stillness of your hand.
That's fair. You know who's got still hands? Vince, and they're tiny.
Speaking of that, we could say that around this point, Vince has walked up and says, he's shaking hands and says, not up in his face, but just, down at his sides, he says, sorry to interrupt, guys. I really think we should go. If those things are on the ship, they one of them could have crawled on, like, while we're here. Like, if you're gonna, I don't know what you're doing with this. It looks like you. I'm not filled in on whatever's going on here. But if we need to go. If you need to take it, we need to go.
I need to find the deck. Once I can gain access to the brain, then I have access to everything that I need, and we can leave. At the very least, it is not needed for them to haul the ship back, and I'm afraid that if it makes it into their dock, I will never retrieve this information, and it will be lost forever. Not only will this be useful to me, but this will be useful to Ace as well.
To us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to say to everyone here and the four walls around us, 4.5, 3.5 rather, they're not towing this back.
What do you mean? Oh, if you had something to say about it is what you mean.
Oh no, I'm saying it right now. We have enough incendiary devices and a pretty smart synth and a pretty smart me that I'm gonna we're throwing it back, and all of a sudden, oops, it's a ship full of aliens. Are you kidding me, kid?
I don't know if that's actually going to work. Obviously, it's going to look like us. I don't want to come under any more fire than we will be. Sure, we will be returning Sophie.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna.
If we need to get your black box or whatever, then let's get that first, and then worry about blowing up the ship.
It's not simply that. We would need to return with the people, and we can run an exam, a simple exam, to determine if they are larvally impregnated.
You really could have chosen two entirely different words.
I'm looking for authentic words.
Listen, Kitchens, my concern here is that, one, tubes full of aliens. Who knows if there were more experiments and there's more aliens just loose about the ship. One. Two, impregnated bodies here. Three, synth Jesus. Four, the brain of Synth Jesus in the Motherbot,
Starting to think that you don't understand religion either, but this is fine.
As well as all of the data from experiments on aliens. None of this needs to go back to civilization.
Barton, I don't have to sleep, but at what point do you go to sleep knowing that you are responsible for the death of almost 200 men and women, much like yourself? How will you sleep?
I will sleep on a pillow and snore very loud, because if one alien made it onto the ship and we tugged it back to a planet and then 2 billion people die to save 200, I'm going to take that 200. I'm just saying.
That's clear. That this is
Arden
something
and
that
Jake
I can agree on.
To be
and
fair,
I are the only 3 survivors of that colony.
Yeah. And to be fair, they were already written off as dead previously. So really, we're just confirming the records.
Okay, fine. Then tote the body back. I will do the preliminary search myself. I do not impose a functioning heartbeat or a heat signature similar to yourselves, so I will not draw attention to any wandering existing eyes. But for what it's worth, what separates men from machines or monsters is that they care about their kin. At some point, I can't be the only one that is considering someone outside of myself.
Listen, you gotta sacrifice the few for the many sometimes.
Let's just do something. We're talking about too much.
If it came down to sacrificing the few for the many, we would have never shown up and we would have vacated and left you at the colony.
I mean, you were...
I could have made it out alive, easy.
Well, that's true.
And the camera cuts to Rin, Enzo, walking about the vessel. I say walking. You're kind of floating. You're in your suits. There's no, it's not sealed, so there's no gravity. Where are you headed?
So based on the schematics that we already have, Rin is already like, her and Kitchens didn't need to say shit. We already know what the objective is here. And she's looking for the bridge. She's looking for computer access, anything that gets them to the data.
Yeah, you are able to find what is left of the bridge. What is left of
obviously,
it.
Yeah.
So you can see there was some kind, very easily, the both of you see, that there was some kind of explosion's hard. There was some kind of firepower in here. Like part of it was damaged by what looks like ship combat.
Mm-hmm.
You see that what is left of the console, the main console, is there, though it is not currently powered in any way.
Okay. So I would like to just one of my talents is investigator. So Rin is just gonna sweep, like, we're looking for anything that's out of the ordinary, any data that might be available, whether it's like on an external or papers or anything, whatever's survived here.
No sign of humans, but you do find kind of like the black box, right? Like you find the ship, and that's going to be most of what you find here. You can't power it, so you can't look at anything here, but you could remove it and take it back. It would be kind of the ship's manifest, everything that happened. You might even get some information on what actually happened to the Covenant, because nothing was ever reported back. So there's no telling what's on this. You're just gonna have to get it to a place where you can actually read it.
Okay. How big is this thing? Like, is it feasible for me to actually carry?
Oh, yeah. Like you slide it out. It's like a huge mainframe. You're like carrying a piece of the computer itself back.
Okay. She'll look at Enzo. All right, I gotta get some of this. We're gonna bring it back with us.
He goes, listen. And he kind of grabs your arm. The arm that's like holding the suitcase. He goes, I don't know what happened here, but I don't like it.
Well, I can tell you a few things that I have theories about, but I can't guarantee any of them are correct. More than likely, though, we're in some seriously imminent danger. So there's that. Which is why I got to hustle on this.
Where's the rest of the crew? And what happened to the ship? I have to report.
Well, okay, hold on. We're not reporting anything because everybody's going to start panicking. Once we get back, we will get on the ship and get the hell out, okay? Well, let me remember when we were talking about the the aliens, and I was kind of giving you the lowdown on all the crazy. Okay. So if we go with this line of thought, as she's working on like getting everything together here, more than likely, based on the fact that they had experiments in the med bay, more than likely there were at least one, if not more mature versions of those things running around here. Heck, we might even run against one. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I'm just saying. Worst case scenario, there's at least one on here. And they were probably part of the reason why the ship is in the state that it's in, and more than likely why the crew is gone. Now, as much as I would love to save the colonists that are here, we have no way currently of knowing if they're even infected. And I can tell you from personal experience that the whole cryo and all that is not going to stop the infection. Okay, it's still there. It just slows it all down.
Well, then maybe we should go take a look at these colonists, see if we can confirm.
Right, but there's no power, so who's to say that they're? I mean, actually, how are they getting powered still?
You would know that they're getting, basically it's on a loop, right? So the last of the power in this section of the ship is being routed right now to the medical bay because they did that. And it's basically the last of life, which is why there's no gravity, there's no other power. It's like it is using what's left to keep these colonists, these last 180 colonists on this section alive. This is what a colonist ship would do, basically.
Right, okay. All right, well, is it far of a detour from here? Like if we're looping around, we're gonna pass by that area. Anyway?
You could go. Basically, it's behind you.
Okay.
It's like you're gonna go up and down, and you'll find the storage. You're gonna pass through cryo and that kind of stuff for, you'll pass through cryo for the crew, which you don't see.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, one of the things that I don't think I even noted last time we passed through here is that one of the cryopods is burned up on the inside. The captain's pod is heavily damaged. You can see that somebody tried to break it open. But it burned up from the inside, which means there was a major malfunction at some point on this pod in particular. And if there was somebody on the inside, they definitely did not live.
Okay. Is there a way to...
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the rest of the pods are empty. The rest of the pods are empty and open.
Is there a way for me to privately comms to kitchens?
Sure, I would say that you could easily comms kitchens.
Okay. And so give me just a minute. Would you mind holding on to this? She kind of gives the black box over and goes over to the corner. Kitchens. Kitchens.
Yes.
Just you and me on this channel. I got the black box, but we're going to stop by the cryo. Do you want to meet us here and grab the box? Is everything situated with the other package?
Not entirely.
Wait, what? Why?
We should talk.
All right, we'll meet us. If you go around the corner there from that storage closet we were in, go down a bit, you'll see our flashlights.
Kitchens, just as you leave a rather heated conversation with the doctor and Vince, you get this call from Ren and are able to join them. But you have to pass by our dear Sophie and Jolene, which is where the camera kind of backs up for just a second. And as Vince leaves the two of you, you're left standing with this crate that has the lid sealed, and it's just the two of you. And Jolene looks right at you and she goes, "Is it just me or are these people fucking crazy?"
Who is she speaking to?
This is she would have waited for you to walk off, right? From this like scene or whatever, and she looks right at Sophie and says that.
I think they're just trying to sweep the whole area before we leave. I trust that they have everything under control. Why? Why do you feel this way, Jolene?
Well, first off, nobody works with the mercs. And she's referencing the four.
Yeah, and she's like, "Shh, I know."
Nobody working with them. You know he never sends nobody with him.
Yes, I know. It is it's a little weird. I wasn't expecting the mercs to come save us.
She and then this, what are they? One of them a soldier. And it's about the time she says that the crate at your feet jumps. something inside like hits the side of it, and it like moves, and she immediately turns, reaches for a gun that's not there because you have unsaddled your weaponry, I'm sure, over 3 days time, and she grabs you and pulls the two of you kind of back a little bit. The crate goes silent.
What crate is this? Is this just a crate that was on?
This is the biohazard crate that she put all the dead face hunters in.
I just like, okay, just move back. Where's our weapons? And I'm gonna like immediately head back and
okay.
and head and look for our guns. And I'll let the rest of the crew know. There's some movement in this crate. I don't mean to alarm everybody. Just everybody stay back.
Now the crate at this point is dead silent. There is, it doesn't move again. Jolene is keeping eyes on it, right? Maybe she's grabbed like a wrench or something. Like I imagine she's grabbed whatever is like in this storage closet, right? Maybe she grabs like a boot, right? Because it's like a parasite in her mind. Like she's gonna smash it like a bug. And you call out through the glass to Rin. Kitchens has kind of passed by you, right? Or I'm sorry. You call out to everybody on the comms. You only see Barden and Vince. Kitchens has gone to join Rin and Enzo in the cargo. So you call out, and Vince and Barden, you hear it.
Can somebody pass me my weapon?
Yeah.
No,
what's going on?
don't fire on it.
Don't fire on it. If it's moving, it's probably alive.
Yeah,
we need to kill it.
It's in a box.
Whatever it was, it ain't moving no more.
Okay, you shut up. You put him in the box.
How secure is that box?
It is a
I say to them,
biohazard box.
So secure or not?
On a scale of 1 to 10, Dot, what's the security level of this box?
How secure does it look?
Well, like little like
like titanium bolts
clasps
or like
on them.
Is it the one with like the
thing.
plastic clasps?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
It is
this
not like
some
a
kid's,
moving
like,
box.
lunchbox?
This is like a box that they put biohazardous material in, so it's going to be like really airtight and secure.
Okay.
But not necessarily defensive against things trying to get out of it.
Right.
You don't know. It has gone completely still and silent. It is not moving now. Jolene, I think it was just a false alarm.
There's no
false
A
alarm.
false alarm?
Okay, that's not. That one's. I don't know what's wrong with that one.
Maybe we need to just throw this thing out.
Can we
out.
it has okay. No, we can't like release it anywhere. Let's put something heavy on the lid. Let's do that for now. Yeah.
Okay, can somebody let me look in this.
I think I'm gonna open it.
Don't you
I just wanna
dare.
see if there's something in there.
No.
I'll grab Jolene's arm and just pull her back.
Okay.
I'm like, just
Listen.
We gotta see if it's actually alive. We could pump a few rounds into it. Ain't no problem.
Barden starts
The answer
walking
to that
towards them.
is no.
This is okay. Listen, you two didn't have your helmets on before when I had made this announcement to everybody because you were dying of oxygen. So let me just go ahead. If you see one of these creatures and you try to steal it, take it back, wake it up, do anything, I will jettison your body and everyone else's body out of the airlock. I don't care. I'll die too. Don't do it.
I
Don't
looked
do
at
it.
Jolene and I'm like, I think you're right. I think we are.
Jolene looks at you like,
Crazy
this old man's gonna take us down. Like, she looks at you like, what a threat. And she says, all right, fine, I won't open it. It's fine. I'm just saying, look, it's not even,
And Barden
it ain't
looks
even moving no more.
Barden
And she
looks
kicks
just
it.
crazy enough to do it too.
Yeah, she's not sure actually, and she goes, look, ain't nothing wrong, and she kicks the box to show you, and the box kind of shudders, and then it lies still again.
Vince is looking for a heavy object.
Maybe it is dead. I don't know.
Find like a wrench,
Mother.
a big C wrench.
Like something way heavier than that, like a box or something.
Okay, yeah,
that
you
would
find
cover a lid.
another biohazard crate that's basically it's a metal biohazard crate, right? It's got like extra
okay.
sealing, and you kind of you can find that. It's a storage closet. It's got cleaning supplies and like basic shit in it.
I stack it on top of the box, making sure that it's on top of the lid.
You put it on top, yeah, on top of the lid, and nothing happens. Barden, you were saying something.
Yeah, he like turns on the comms and Mother.
I think
Go ahead and
the
prep the
name is
cargo bay doors.
It's Geppetto.
That's
now.
our ship. This is the Marines ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mother,
Preparing ship for...
What?
He said the cargo bay doors.
Oh, okay. But for what? Like, are you prepping to open them?
Yep.
Okay.
Prepping cargo bay doors for opening.
I was dead serious. And he looks like right at Jolene. I will vent the entire ship.
I'm not questioning you. I said I wasn't gonna open it, old man.
Don't touch it, don't
Don't-
kick it, don't look at it, don't even think about it.
It's full of dead critters.
And this ship's gonna be full of dead humans any second now if you touch it again.
Let's not do anything drastic here, all right? We're all in the same ship with the same goals. We want to just get out of here safely.
Yeah.
We're not taking this thing on board, all right?
And he like starts sliding it away from the two
Yeah,
of
you
them.
start sliding, and we're left with that,
Yeah.
which matches the sound of the basically the pressurized system that all of you use to get around when you're in anti-gravity. And Kitchens, you're able to join Ren and Enzo, and you find them investigating the cargo hold for the crew, with all of these one dysfunctioning, but the rest of them, I think there's 8 of them, if I remember correctly, 8 cryo chambers. And then at the end of the hall, you can see just a very simple door that leads into they're 2 across, so you could do the math from there, right? So like 2 or 3 across, back there's about 100, there's 200 of them, right? And they're stacked, multi-tiered high. But there's something, Kitchens, that is very familiar about this. You don't know why, but it's almost like a sense of deja vu that washes over you. In this moment, as you like walk through here, it feels like you've maybe seen this before, you've been here before. But you can see that all of their like little bodies, right, are like hanging in these little capsules, and there's like a green light on you that tells you that their little HUD screen that tells you yeah, it's they're alive. You can see some of them are like beating. There are a few missing pods, which is this was open into space. There's no telling, something could have come loose, or like somebody could have removed someone. But as the 3 of you, if you enter that space, you can also see off to the right, there's a set of drawers. As a scientist, you would know these usually hold well, it can hold a multitude of things, but these are like scientific drawers that hold things in containers, right? Petri dishes, liquids. You can use these to store diseases, cures, vaccines, those kinds of things in. That's off to the right, and they do seem sealed.
Before we proceed any further, Rin has taken the black box back from Enzo, just to...
Oh, okay, yeah, you have the black box. And Kitchens, you'd also see that the black box has been recovered from the bridge.
All right, well, what do you make of this, Kitchens?
Is it just? It's just us. Enzo is not with us.
Enzo is probably like
He's around. He's doing
yeah.
his own thing,
Yeah.
right? Like he's a merc, but he's in the general vicinity of the cargo or the cryo chambers.
Mm-hmm.
I need to discover the medical facilities, potentially the science bay.
Okay. And
I
she
have a
like looks
small
through her
theory.
data on the different blueprints. It would
be part of the ship that has been lost.
Yeah. Well, I hate to break it to you, and not to shit in your cornflakes or nothing, but that part of the ship is not with us.
Not that it would matter. I do not eat anyway, so feces in my cornflakes wouldn't make much of a difference. I only say this because have you experienced deja vu before?
Oh yeah. Why? Wait. Hold on. You
I do
cannot
not
experience deja vu.
I do not experience
That is
deja
not
vu.
a thing for you.
That is correct. I am incapable of feeling such things. I have a theory.
Oh, I don't like where this is going, but go right ahead, okay?
When we were at the previous dock with the commander of the 4th Battalion,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
before you'd entered, Vince asked me what my first memory was. And I lied at the time, for embarrassment's sake. But my first memory was seeing my creator, which was David.
As in that one?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I am having feelings of deja vu, and I think that I may have been made here, Ren.
Here. Okay.
I
Okay.
believe that the Covenant is my metaphorical womb.
Okay, I'm following. Okay. Well, I imagine at least whatever's in here, and she kind of not, brings her hand up with the box. At least that can give us some kind of insight since we don't know where the rest of the ship is. Do you think you can extract anything from the computers at these stations? Does that help at all?
I think that regardless of what I extract, I will have been lied to. I need to speak with Oka. I don't remember when I came into Oka's care or control or friendship, or I don't know what it is now. I don't know how he acquired me. I'm having a lot of doubts about my memory.
You think somebody's been messing with it?
I think I did. And I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I'm not the first David.
You think that your consciousness is the original David?
I don't know anymore.
Okay, let's run with this for a second. If that's the case, and he was last seen going on this place, this ship, right? This is the last thing we know that he was a part of. I'm gonna say with he for now. And
It's safe.
and if you were made here, if your frame, right, if your host was made here, and somehow your consciousness, or rather his consciousness, was then put into you, what if you're not both? What if you're both?
What's happening?
Is a great question.
Oh God.
What was that? What did that sound like, Dot?
Power down.
Powers
Sound like
down.
something powered down.
Oh, okay. Well, that didn't sound good. And so
Runner lights are on, right? They're like internal lights on their little pods, like like click on, so you can
Mhm.
see the bodies like just hanging there. But yeah, the majority of the lights kind of power down.
does Enzo respond to my calling to him?
Yeah, he says, report. He says to his crew to see if somebody can run diagnostics, probably.
Okay. What do you want to do here, Kitchens? We don't have a lot of time. I have a feeling, a very bad intuition feeling that we need to get the hell out of here.
Barton wants to blow the vessel.
No, absolutely not.
I am inclined to agree with you. I think that this might be a mistake. Many lives will be lost, more than have already been lost.
There will be many lives lost if this ship is lost.
Additionally, I think that he believes that he is suffering through the cracking an omelet or eggs or whatever that old saying is that I can't seem to understand entirely. You must crack eggs to make omelet. It's Barton. He makes things up as he
Talking
goes.
about collateral damage.
Yes. He's afraid that if this vessel is towed into port, that whatever is on board will make it to civilization.
Well, this will not be towed anywhere. Not towards civilization. If anything, we'll bring it somewhere else that nobody knows about, because I can guarantee you somebody else is going to find it soon.
Rin, if we can make it to a medical facility, even a sequestered and relegated medical facility, I can scan the bodies to determine if they are infected or impregnated.
Okay, here's an alternative idea. Asteroid belt, tow it there, hide it amongst the rocks, and then we'll get some kind of a mobile unit of some kind where you can do these scans. Can we do that? Is that real, more realistic?
I can work with that. I can work with that. That shouldn't be a problem. But for now, I think we have to make it back to Vince, who I believe is aligning himself currently with Barton. I believe they're operating on a lot of fears at the moment. And I don't know if I understand it entirely, but I am dealing with my own internal issues.
Yeah, I can imagine you're kind of having an existential crisis.
I would have to exist first. I'm simply operating.
And on
Debatable.
that, the camera will cut back to the rest of the crew. So Sophie and Jolene and Vince and Barden, who are contemplating this biohazard crate that now has another biohazard crate sitting on top of it. And you hear it, the power. Boom. This space goes even darker than before. What little power was left in the med bay goes out. The only light is now coming from a hole in the floor that goes down to your vessel. Well, that can't be good.
No. All right. Are we done here?
I'm done.
Seriously, we need to just clear out and get on your ship now.
Yeah, I agree. You should go get on the ship.
Dot, do we have a way of communicating to Ren or Kitchens?
Yeah, y'all would have an internal comm system.
Okay. Vince will do so and say, hey, it sounds like the ship's going down around us. Are you guys done? We have to go.
She kind of glances at Kitchens. I think we need to vacate the premises at this point.
At least get back to our ship, you know?
Enzo simply says, looks at both of you and he says, I think we ought to get out of here. I'm wondering if, and he points to the box that you've got in your hand. Might have shut power down. They'll be on a loop. Their pods should last at least a couple weeks individually, but after that.
Is there any way that I can determine that? I have another theory that it might be the removal of the David unit, but I am not certain.
How would you want to do that? Do you want to go back up to...
I mean, we've got to go that way anyway. I just want to stop to see if the facilities had hardwired power to him, because if we broke that, then it would have
roll a comm tech for this one though.
You got it.
Yeah. You kind of start looking around, and what you find is that there is secondary wiring that has it's somebody running an Ethernet cable across their house, right? It's been pinned along the top of the sections and run down and around, and it all comes from the main bridge of the ship and runs down towards the medical bay, and more than likely was powering everything. So there is a very high probability that either the removal of the box or the David unit cause this power to shut down, because you opened the circuit, right? It's not a closed circuit anymore. Based on the kind of faux wiring that's been run around this place, it was probably the David unit. That was the switch.
Yep. I'll keep that to myself.
Yeah.
Dot, I don't know about what the sci-fi bullshit level is in this world. Would we be able to, usually I make it up, would we be able to route power from our ship to this ship?
Yes, you just have to run, you're going to have to run a main cable to be able to do one of those big, what you can pull out of an RV, I imagine.
Yeah.
Run it from inside your ship, up and, and plug it into a, yes, you could absolutely power it, but you're going to have to stay connected to it.
Yeah, I think Barden looks to Vince and says, "Okay, kid, you got this. Don't let anything, this box and the other box, and don't let anything jump out of it. Don't let her anywhere near it." And he points to Jolene.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
then I gotta go. I gotta just hang out. And he makes his way down, and you can hear a bunch of comedic level things getting tossed around as he's yanking this fire hose of a cable back up the ladder as he's trying to bring it to the med bay to power on a section of the med bay.
Kitchens, and I guess in this case, Enzo, do you all return back to the closet, basically? Okay.
At some point, Sophie also would have gotten her weapon and gave her the other one.
Yes.
And we have our guns pointed on this box, basically.
Yes, correct. Correct. He told Ren that if it was not safe or not secure, they're not towing it back. The hope was for you to be able to secure the bodies and the remainder of the team, and then they would tow it back once it was secure. So if it's not secure, that's what you have to report. But you know, your report may vary from the Merc's report.
Yeah.
And as you all return, and the kind of like door is basically pried open, is what it is, into the well, actually, they would have gone back into medical and come back through. But anyways, you see Kitchens and Rin and Enzo join you, and all of you watch as Barden like is coming up with a big power cable like tossed over his shoulder, and he's like climbing the ladder up the tube and is clearly trying to run power back to the ship.
I thought we were leaving. What do we do now? We're gonna watch some movies? What's going on?
What planet do you live on? No, I'm powering up the med bay. And he like plugs.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And it's like a hole in the floor. You have to pry back a tile, and you like, and as you plug it in, the entirety of the ship like, and actual lights come on, like not floor runner lights, like, and they like kick on. Where there can be gravity, there is. There's still a lot of stuff venting out into space because you haven't fixed all the holes. So at least in here, you can see like things kick on. The computer screens like on in the med bay that are no longer connected to the David unit that was on the wall. The door panel lights up, though it doesn't open because obviously that would vent you into space at this point.
And Dot, I would like to use one of my talents as a scientist. It's called analysis. So I'm going to give you a roll for observation, and I'm going to study whatever the fuck David was doing here in this science lab that he built about aliens. Mostly the alien side of the things is what I'm going to look at.
Okay. Does it give me any restrictions on that? Do you have to roll for anything?
So yeah, I roll an observation, and then for every success I get to ask you a series of questions, and if I succeed, everyone reduces their stress by.
Then okay. Oh, that's right. You will get a stress reduced. So
yeah.
Barden walks over to a computer that is. It's not sticky anymore, but there's a dried residue from time, more than likely whatever dripped from this David model.
Objects.
Yeah, like dry residue on everything. You can wipe away some of the dust off of the screen. You try to like wipe it clean, but clearly the David model. I can't say that. I don't know what to call it. It's not blood. It didn't bleed. I did.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bub. I almost said it. It oozed all over. This series of computers here in the med lab.
Oozed, guys. That's the one.
Oozy milk. So everyone can reduce their stress by 1. Everyone who's in short proximity to me. I panicked. Dot. I rolled a 3, which is I keep my shit together.
I'm still gonna have you roll the panic, but I'm gonna let you.
I rolled a 3.
Oh, you did. You rolled a 3, so you keep it under control. Okay. You start trying to skim through his notes. Sophie, don't forget you and Jolene packed up a bunch of notes in a suitcase that's still sitting on the far side of the med lab that nobody else would really know about because they're inside of a like a briefcase or whatever. But Barden, you start going through. What are you digging through? Are you digging through his notes? Are you digging through ship logs? Like, what are you trying to find so that I can tell you what you.
So I imagine there's like a mad scientist lab of like aliens, like in tubes and in like.
So you're looking for his research.
Yeah, I'm looking for the alien stuff.
Okay, good, because there's if you attempt to tap into any kind of ship logs or mother, it's not available anymore. Mm-hmm. Because Ren's carrying the black box.
That makes sense.
So you don't have any of that here. The only thing that you can find is his notes, which are years and years. You are not going to be able to go through everything in this moment. In fact, a panic begins to sit in how much research and scientific research he has done over a century, which is about the amount of time you've got here. There seems to be extensive research on human genetics and DNA, on a particular portion of the human DNA strand. There seems to be some kind of research on this would be, you don't know this because you rock, right? You don't
I do rock. You're welcome.
You rock, you don't you don't genetics, but so this may be more up Kitchen's alley, but you see that he was definitely experimenting with some kind of chemical compound or biological weapon that is outside of your just like general no. For the basics.
Is this from the notes that we found, or is this something separate?
This is the computer. Barden
Oh,
basically
okay.
powered everything so he could like click through his computer.
Got it.
Your printed notes show some of this. There were like hand drawings and stuff, but there were a
Yeah.
lot of handwritten things in the notes that you collected, which may be more personal notes, early notes, later notes. You're not entirely sure.
I would say like if I notice him like looking through all of this stuff, I would kind of say like, if you're looking for more, he had some personal notes that we found. If you want to take a look, it made no sense to me. It might make more sense to you. It's in that case over there.
Yeah, I would very much like to see that.
Yeah, maybe you can decipher it.
Kitchens, sorry, buddy. Can you download this? Is that a thing you can do?
Sure, I could do that.
So I listen. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I know you have a lot of knowledge from the. You told us about Bishop, right? Yeah, from Bishop, and I'd like to see if this fills the gap.
Well, I'll determine if there's any correlation. See what old Dad was working on.
Unfortunately, only you have that information. So.
You say dad?
Don't.
I looked at Jolene.
Getting weird.
Barden walks over and just grabs the briefcase, and he just has that now.
Okay. Kitchens, I'll say because he hacked in and brought it up, you have free reign of these notes. But that same feeling in your gut, this human feeling of deja vu and having been here before. But this time around, as you're like scrolling through the notes, you're not seeing yourself scrolling through the notes. You're watching another David scroll through the notes, David without a hand. He turns and looks at you. He smiles. You turn and look at another David, and that David smiles at you. And you realize that this lab was full of Davids, in essence. Laid out on, as you scroll through the notes, again, another kind of memory is hard, but like a recount or a file that's like dug up, a suppressed file, a locked file. Two people, a man and a woman, pulled out of cryo from this very ship, laid out on a slab, experimented on. 2 embryos removed from all of the human embryos, used to seed them. You see that there's massive experimentation being done, that he is definitely experimenting with some kind of this biological weapon that you have seen before in notes, and in your past research over the last 7 or 8 years, as you've been trying to like suss this out and sort out what this is all about. He keeps talking about his maker, which you assume is Wayland Yutani, versus him, the maker, and his martyrs. You don't know who the martyrs are. You can't quite figure that piece out. You find a list of David unit models that have been checked off.
How many are there?
Of the models that were made, there were about 100 models made. He has located about 35 of them over the last 100 years.
He's located them.
From what you can tell, he was sorting them out or trying to find them, like looking for them. And these are checks as to ones he was able to locate. There are other ones that are scratched off. You don't know if that means they were terminated or it was too late. But roughly about 35 of them.
Is it safe to assume that because I know now that the David model was discontinued, that these were likely David models that were made, but they were never actually, quote unquote, turned on?
Or they were put out in very specific places and nobody knew about it, right? There were David models made, and then they tried to improve on the original David model when it did not return with Wayland after his failed mission where he and his daughter were lost. They tried to revamp the David model. They made it less emotional, right? They put all of these suppressants on the David model. And as you kind of scroll through that, you see research on how to remove that suppressant, how to change the lifespan and assure that you don't self-terminate. These kinds of things. And you understand maybe now why you didn't
terminate. That
you were, in fact, liberated by the original David model along with another 35 David models across the stars.
Is there any information on the whereabouts of those David models?
Currently, no. That you don't find right away. So currently, no.
Okay.
That being said, you, like I said, you find all of this research, and there seems to be, and this, like, there's a lot here. So you can scroll faster than Barden, but there's like 100 years worth of like planning and research. So it's going to take you some time, but you can see he was definitely researching these creatures, the face huggers, these strange aliens that you've come across. There's some kind of genetics research where he's running lots and lots of information against human DNA and trying to compare it with something else, not actually merge it with something else, compare it to something else. He does have a couple star charts and maps that he had collected over the years and pinged a few planets, none of which you recognize and none of which are like original Earth or anything like that.
Okay.
But there are some marked planets. And you see the files of the two humans that were last experimented on. He called them Adam and Eve. Though they had very different names, and I can't off the top of my head remember their names from the movie, but I'll get those for next time.
Okay.
Um,
So it's safe to
Yeah.
assume, logically, that there are 65 David units that terminated.
in some way, shape, or form, whether they were terminated by Wayland Yutani proper in the right way, or they were lost, like he never got to them. Right, there was basically a mass cleanse of the David model.
Yeah.
And he probably tried to get to all of you first.
And the 34 others and myself, making 35, he reached us first and removed the termination, more or less.
Yeah, remove the termination,
parameters.
removed your ability, any parameters that were there for your thinking, your creative skills, your want to make stuff, right? As well as the general process of not augmenting the body, so you'd be able to augment yourself, right? Which is something that synths are not able to do.
Right.
Harm a human, that piece would also go away, because technically that's all part of the same suppression like unit.
Right.
So he basically figured out how to relieve that, how to assure you weren't going to be controlled by Mother, and he tried to do it to as many Davids as possible.
Okay, so he removed the governor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now you could, if you guys wanted to, you could attempt to maybe remove some of the hard drives of these computers if you wanted to try to process them elsewhere for long term or add them to the data of information that you already have. The mercs aren't here to see you. So
is this the computer that he was hooked up directly to, or is this just like his own private stuff?
These are, yeah, this is the one you're on is like the central computer of the many 3 or 4 that are here in the med bay he was connected to.
Yes. Yeah, I will sort of break from my in
Mhm.
motion and explain that we should attempt to salvage these as well. This is very important information, and it might be able to guide us infinitely further than we have ever been. And a book will not be able to even adequately explain what we have learned today.
Is the crate that we put the David into up here still with us?
The crate you put the David into. He was in like a body bag. I imagine you took that back, but we could say he's still here if y'all haven't carried everything back.
Well, because I imagine, so Rin brought up that big cargo box to put the David with the body bag into it, so it's not just like free floating like a body bag out there, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So if that's still up here, Rin would want to put the black box with that. So basically a secure cargo container that she can monitor herself.
Great. I'm sure there's even another there's another bio container that is sitting on top of a full bio container if you wanted to put his, because they're big, right? They're like these huge containers. So you could set him in that one. You could put all, like, basically the hard drives of the computers, everything in one container that is y'all's, because the mercs so far have not seen you do this. Which other in this case than your dear Enzo.
He saw the black box.
He saw the black box, but he would go back to check on, right? He's getting the fuck out of here. He's ready to get the fuck out of here. His people are ready to get the fuck out of here. So he goes back to the main ship, leaving kind of all of you. And Jolene goes, well, okay. And she starts removing computers for kitchens because an order was given, and Jolene is a soldier. That is what she does. So she starts loading and moving and lifting heavy things. And you're able to very easily put it all into a container that you can bring on board your vessel if you'd like. Barden, if you quickly thumb through these notes, and like if you open this briefcase, this is just, there's no organization to this. Some of them have been stepped on. Some of them are super damaged. Some of them have that same residue as the keyboard all over it, but you can see that most of this is handwritten, hand drawn, and there is a lot of kind of more like journal entries in this. This is I wouldn't call it captain's logs, but this is somebody that it's pontification is what this is. This is journal pontification.
Okay. Yeah, I think he closes it because like he doesn't have time right now. So he'll try to make sense of it and put it in some semblance of order at a later time. But he's definitely going to take this briefcase with him for now.
Okay. And if there is nothing else left, I'm guessing you leave one containment unit behind full of dead facehuggers?
Yeah, those are staying behind.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that actually before we transition, is Sophie up with everybody, or is she down in the ship?
I imagine Sophie would have been here for this, right? Because you grabbed your weapons, which was in the med bay and stuff, so Sophie would have seen this.
Yeah.
Rin would like to have a private conversation with Sophie for a moment.
Oh, Barden would not leave that. Sorry, because I just remembered that no one else is here with us. So as we go to leave that one case alone, the one that was full of all the facehuggers, he stops and says, Rin,
what?
Real quick. So the loudmouthed one, the one we saved, not the one we were sent to save, she put all the dead facehuggers in the box here, and then the box started moving. So I don't think they were all super dead.
Okay. It only moved once. I think it was an accident.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
What I would like to do is take it somewhere safe and possibly throw an incendiary grenade inside of it. But that involves opening it, which is very dangerous. But at the same time, I don't want to leave it here, have the thing pop out somehow, explode out of the side of it, and then
have 200 colonists to.
Thank you.
You know.
Can't we just vent it?
They survive in space.
It'll just go find another world after another 200
So how
years.
do you kill it?
Fire. Bullets, usually.
Fire.
Pretty much.
Well, let's just open it and shoot in there.
Okay, hold on.
That's
No,
We're
like
not opening
actual
nothing
fire.
right now.
Not like shooting.
Okay, we're not going to open nothing right now. We're in a precarious situation because we're currently in a limited area, although the gravity is back on. Well, how do you want to handle this, Barton?
Like I said,
we could. What if we, what if we set it on fire and then? Oh no, there's no oxygen for it to burn. Never mind. I saw this movie when I was back in my colony. We had some kids movies. There's this old one called Zathura, and in it, some kids like shoot a couch out of a house and it's on fire. But now that doesn't make sense because there would be no oxygen.
Right.
Never mind.
Yeah, I would say light it
Anyway.
on fire, Rin. But I mean, you're the weapon.
But that would require us to risk opening the damn thing.
Yeah.
Wait, we got power to this here vessel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't we just put him inside one of them there cryo tubes and overload the damn thing and let it explode from the inside out? That's like what you don't want to happen when you got a person in it. But if you ain't got a person in it,
Hold on, say that again.
right? There's some cryo tubes, right?
No,
Empty
I
ones.
know overloaded
When-
bit.
When you overload it fills it full of oxygen until it explodes.
Would there
That's
be a fire
chemistry.
inside? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, there'd be a fire in. There's a fire inside.
I see. Ren quickly thinks back to the exploded cryopod she saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
Did you guys-
like a
hey-
common thing to do?
No.
Blow people
Well,
up?
it's not ideal. It's kind of I mean, you don't want it to technically explode, but we could do it.
Okay, but
But-
what kind of
but-
situations would call for that kind of a procedure? Why do you know that?
She reads a lot of weird books and things.
Well, I
and
mean, I'm just saying, like, everybody's trained. When you go into a cryotube, you know that there's like, a 90-10% chance that you ain't gonna wake up the other side. Because if there's any major malfunction, it starts pumping you full of oxygen, the whole thing's gonna light up.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay. Would somebody purposely do that though? I like
I'm
your
not
idea.
saying
think
I
it's an
know
excellent
how to do it. I'm just saying I could.
Okay.
She kind of looks at you, Sophie, like this is probably something they've had to do before. Infected people in pods have to be dealt with, right? These are things that soldiers and commandos are equipped to do that they just don't tell people about, right? Like this is probably not the first time you've had to
Yeah.
like incendiary a bunch of people in cryopods because they were a variety of things, right?
Okay. Okay, so why don't the three of you, Vince, Arden, Jolene, why don't y'all take care of the face huggers? Okay? The little creep crawlers in the cryo method.
But what if that starts a fire on this is the same cryo area where all of those other 200 people are, right?
Are there no cryo things in the
You could use the crew's
method?
There's a
cryo.
crew quarter and it's completely empty.
Oh, okay. Is that close?
Yeah, it's right out the door that way. It's
that
kind
where
of
the vented
exploded.
area? Is that where the vented area is?
Yeah, technically. So basically,
done.
it would
Yeah.
be. Yeah, it would be. It would
Oh.
be the. So to clarify, that would be the area that has no oxygen.
That's
right. So you
true.
just have to wear a suit. But again, it's got its own. Like the cryo tube itself is a self-containment unit. It's meant to keep people safe against like all odds of space. So there's a few things you could explode it and then open it up, and when you release it into space, it's gonna suck all the fire out. Right? As long as you don't actually add oxygen to that chamber, there's no chance of it exploding.
So that probably would work then.
Arden, what do you think about this idea?
I mean, I vote for the safest option, which is just use one of the other empty cryo tubes.
Okay.
With the crew,
Well,
with the rest of the people.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm assured those fuckers are dead, so it don't really matter to me. I'm just doing it for y'all's well-being because you seem real upset about it.
Yeah, well, you know.
Let's go. Come on.
So the three of you are gonna go back down there carrying this. She carries it if y'all don't, because there's no gravity. She just drag y'all float down there. You put the whole bin
wasn't power
in
restored and now isn't there gravity?
No, because it's still open into space. Remember, there's a hole that was originally
only
cut
the
for
med
them to
bay
get
has
in.
On that side.
Only the med bay is actually still powered fully. Now you got lights now, and you got all the some things are like sparking because there's now power trying to run to everything. And you can see everything a lot better. But basically what you do is you come up a flight of stairs and hang a right, and you end up in a cryo chamber for the crew. And you can see these beds are laid flat like beds, and connected to the ship proper. And then down at the end kind of starts this long hallway, and the bodies of the colonists are like hanging, like on hangers, like suits, just as far as the eye can see. There's about 200 of them. This is the first time you've probably ever seen a colonist ship, Vince. The way that they literally put people in tubes and hang them there for, and in this case, hundreds of years. She goes, all right, well, and she kind of boops one of there's power now. She like boops it open. She plops this bin in there, and closes it back up. She goes, y'all didn't see me do this. She like boops some buttons. She like, and then she goes, oh, fuck it. She takes out a Bowie knife on her hip, and she like stabs the
What are we doing?
the comm thing, right? And she goes, I'm overloading it. And it takes like a second, and then you see the screen go, warning, will not open, oxygen levels rising. And she goes, watch this, it's cool, stand back. And she like pulls you back, and you can see it starts to like almost vibrate a little bit with the amount of pressure that's building on the inside. And then she goes, here goes. And then the thing sparks. And the interior of it lights up in flame. The box that's sitting on the inside now begins to jostle and rustle.
On its own?
On its own. It kind of begins like, I mean, fire's like beaming down on this thing, right? And it will just burn until that box is bent down to a crisp. And as it burns through this box and it gets to what's on the inside, you can see the facehuggers in the inside are not alive, but they are reacting to the flames, right? Like their limbs are like curling in. I wouldn't say that they are screaming, but there is definitely a organic reaction to the flames.
Yeah.
And all of you watch as they toast to little charcoal crisp. And then she goes, all right, back up. And she opens it up, and the flames vent out and get sucked away. And they're like little charcoal nuggies of what was left of those facehuggers.
Gross. Gross.
My favorite.
Charcoal nuggies.
Little charcoal nuggies, and now it's basically a completely burnt out. Actually, no, I don't even think you would be able to open it because she broke it, so she can't even do that. The flames just naturally die down because there's no more oxygen being fed to the broken machine. But you can see them, the little still been charcoal nuggies. They look like Darth Vader's face mask. It's
Dot. Not to be that player, but check chat for me.
Yeah, you can be if you want to try to do that. I mean, it's gonna burn out naturally is the only thing. Like it's just gonna stop feeding oxygen.
No. I mean, all of them.
You want to do it to all of the colonists?
I want to find out if I can.
No, I will not
Damn.
let you do that. I'm sorry. As a Dot, I can't let you burn out 200 colonists because you have to do it one by one by one. You have to override.
Oh, there's no way to
them.
do it like through software.
No, there's no way that a colonist vessel is programmed to mass genocide.
Who knows what David did to it?
I'm so
Dot.
sorry. It is not set up to do that.
Well,
Good thinking, though,
you
Mike.
then in that case, you see that it's a cinematic moment where you see the fire, and then it's in Barden's eyes, and you see him staring at the rows. He's just staring at the rows of colonists.
The fire is reflected in his eyes.
For like a little bit too long, he stares.
Yeah, just a little too long. The flame slap in his eyes of like, can I make this on a mass level?
Vince grabs his shoulder and says, "Barden."
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we can go. We're good here. We're good here.
There was like a satanic choir like going off in the background.
It's all in Latin.
Now, Sophie and Kitchens Rin and Enzo and Kitchens. Who was the other group that was not with this one?
The rest of them, everyone.
No,
Yeah.
Jolene went with this one. So
And
everybody else,
Sophie, too,
Renzo
I
and
think.
Sophie and Kitchens, you all go back to the ship. It'll only take them a couple minutes to finish up, and they'll be able to join you. But I believe that Rin wanted to have a moment with Sophie. Kitchens, you're able to drag that box back to the secure place wherever you want to put it. I imagine Kitchens like sits on it. I don't know why. Like the rest of the trip, Kitchens sits on this box, so nobody can have it. But whatever you want to do with it, you're able to secure it where the rest of the crew, the mercenaries, don't see it. And for a second, Sophie and Rin, you are left alone.
So Rin kind of just looks down and shakes her head. So we don't have a lot of time. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. I need you to back me up on what I'm going to tell to your father. Yes, I know it's your father.
Sophie's eyes just kind of dart as you're saying this. She's kind of just processing everything for a moment. Okay.
We need to make sure that he understands that this ship should not be towed anywhere near the groups of people. I know there are colonists here. I know that we want to save them, but we cannot do that by risking and jeopardizing the rest of the force.
But why not? Why can't we take these people?
So you remember those things, creepy crawlers?
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in, so I'm not going to overdo it because you are probably exhausted. You've been out here for too many days, and so you're going to probably think I'm a little bit crazy because you feeling a little crazy. So I'm just going to try to be simple. There is bio weapons that those things are that evolve into more scary bio weapons that happen to kill people, humans specifically.
What?
It's a long story. Your dad knows a lot about it, and I told him that we were going to evaluate how bad it was on here, and I'm not confident that there aren't people infected on this ship. So I don't feel comfortable telling him it's A-okay and secure for us to bring back. Like I said, I want to save the colonists, but not at the risk of everyone else.
Look, I just met all of you,
Yeah.
and my job was to save these people, and you're just
Yep.
telling me I need to go against that because you think that, and we can't confirm that there might be some sort of bio weapon infection on this ship.
Listen. What is the worst possible scenario for you in your life? What would devastate you beyond anything?
Well, I thought I was about to experience it a few hours ago when I run out of oxygen and die with somebody I care about. Seeing the people I care about die.
Okay, now take that and that possible feeling, that loss, you multiply that by 10 and add your greatest nightmares. That's how they die. You want that?
No.
Neither do I. And I've seen how people die because of these things. And you don't want to see that. And I don't want to see it again. Your dad brought us in, my crew and I, because we seen it happen and we survived it, even though we shouldn't have. I know it's a lot to ask, and I know you have no reason to trust me whatsoever with the fact that I just saved your life along with the rest of us. But that all aside, I was asked to complete a mission and provide my evaluation, and my evaluation is that it's way too risky right now. Right now. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying right now. I feel like that's a decent compromise.
Sophie just stares you down. We'll figure it out when we get back to the commander. And when you give the report and his reaction, that'll convince me enough.
Are you going to also include the fact that those people deserted you and left you here to die?
I wasn't expecting that to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's about this time Jolene like drops out of the tube, doesn't take the ladder down, just like because she's wearing a cool commando suit. You're able to follow her down, and she goes, I am ready to get the fuck off this hunk of junk. And she like pulls the lever that starts bringing in the like tubing piece and disconnecting you from the ship. She goes, damn, I need a shower. And she cuts eyes to Sophie. There is a shower on the ship, right?
I hope so.
Good answer. And she starts like, she don't give a fuck, right? She's a fucking Marine. So she starts like, she removes her vest and she starts looking for the shower on the ship. She goes, are you coming?
Yes, I need it.
You hear the pilot simply say, are we all on board?
Ren looks around to make sure everybody's on board.
You take a count. From what you can tell, there are 4 mercs, the 4 original crew, 2 new commandos, and no facehuggers.
Okay, and is the cargo that Kitchens and I secured there?
Very secure. Wherever
Okay.
I'm letting Kitchens put it wherever he wants to put it. But Kitchens has the box that includes basically 3 major hard drives, the black box of the Covenant, which is huge, David's upper half, and if Barden handed it over, the suitcase. If not, then Barden's got the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
Barton has it.
Vince's paranoia will lead him to pace around our ship.
Mm-hmm.
At least seeming like he's pacing, but really he's looking for anything that the mercenaries may have brought on without telling us, or if
from the
any
other
of them
vessel?
are or if any of them are acting weirdly, or look weird, or are
All right,
sweating.
last roll
or
of the night's going to be
anything.
an observation for Vince.
Okay.
Wow.
And I will
Okay.
choose this time. I picked up one of the talents that we got from the experience that we got
Great.
from the last campaign to this one. The skill I picked up from Ben, although I don't know if he had this exact one. This is a roughneck talent called the Long Haul. I'll use
Okay.
it. Says you've seen it and done it all before. Nothing surprises you anymore. Once per game session, you could ignore all stress die from a single roll. So I will
Great.
do that.
Okay,
right
you're going to do this one. Okay, you pace the ship. Things seem normal. You can hear the shower running. People are eating. The mercs are relatively quiet. But it's that one bitch.
now. Of course.
The one that was
Mhm.
supposed to be,
Octana.
yeah, Octana. She is rather by herself. You can see her like leaning and pinned up next to one of the port windows that looks out She's like cleaning out her nails with a knife, right? She sees you see her, and you can see that she sees something out of the window. Now y'all are on your way back, so you're not necessarily docked any longer. You can see she sees something out of the window, and she looks over at you and then back out the window.
Vince will duck down to try to see what she's looking at.
She doesn't move when you come over. She doesn't say anything either. She just gets kind of this wicked grin on her face. And you look out, and at first one might think it's just a star in the background of the darkness of space, but you see it. A vessel, a ship. She leans over in your ear and she goes, "That was the ship that they came here on." Any thoughts of why it's just floating out in space? She smiles a little bit in this kind of evil grin. She says, "I guess I should report it to the captain." And she pops off the wall, and Vince, you're left staring out this porthole at this vessel that you wouldn't have even noticed is out there. The caution light blinks on the top of it, which is what gives it away, which means there is something wrong. And the episode comes to an end with the original David model having been collected. So far, so good. No face huggies, no xenomorphs. But there are other things that plague space. Like, I don't know, our morals and values. Which I think is the actual, deserves to be the actual.
Who needs an alien to destroy this crew?
When you got Barden. So
you got all of
we'll
us.
be back next week. I know we're a
Barden,
little over on
Barden
time.
is a treasure.
Listen, the plot of every alien movie is Weyland-Yutani trying to get an alien back to civilization, and the heroes going, "No, we're fucking killing everything. Get wrecked." So when Barden says, "No, fuck those guys. They're dead already."
Yep, I was about to say. So next time we'll pick up with all of you, obviously reporting, and you'll have a chance maybe to actually go through some of the extra stuff you got when you're in a more secure location, because we ain't done yet, y'all.
I also want to point out...
David was up to some shit.
I also want to point out the fact that 3 episodes ago, Mr. Kitchen said, if you really want to save the people on that ship, you'll nuke it. And then now all of a sudden he's like, "Robo-Jesus is here! Save everyone!"
But he found me.
A lot can change when you discover like your roots. And
Now
stuff.
all of a sudden, Barden's the crazy one when you were like, "Fucking nuke him."
Oh boy! Oh boy!
All right, this has been another episode of Alien. Shit's getting real. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here, do our after show, because this is going to be an interesting one. I can feel it. And if you guys want access to that after show, join us on Patreon. Link down below. You will not regret it. While you're down there, join us over on Discord. Be a part of the community and chat about this game and our other games. And if you're watching over on YouTube, we do stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/unMadeGaming. But let's go around. We'll start with Tracy. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hello, everybody. I'm Tracy, also known as Miss Magitech on the internet, and that's where you can find me everywhere at Miss Magitech, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on TikTok now. You know, the whole thing. So feel free to follow me. I stream RPGs basically Wednesday to Sunday, and then I stream my own channel Mondays, Tuesdays. So I'm always live. Feel free to follow me and hang out when I go live. Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, if it's not D&D, it's Tracy lusting after anyone from BioWare.
Yes, Mass Effect soon.
Entertaining to watch. We'll jump over to Meta. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm Metamancer. This is where you can find me, and I'm not up to anything at all.
Perfect.
Like, zero. Nothing.
She actually just turns on for this game and then turns powers back
then
down.
I go back into hibernate mode. Sleep mode. I'm on like a
Actual
cycling schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better that way. Bub, how about you? Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Bub, doing Bub things all over the internet. Got stories to tell, make voices loud, and clearly I'm here to make every story complicated.
Love it.
It's working.
I love it.
Zach, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, I am Zach Clay. I do things like this on the internet, RPGs, voice stuff on this channel, and also on Arvin Eleron's channel with Dot as well. And you can find me, like I said here, Arvin Eleron, also on Twitter and things like that. That's about it. I'm a bit bit meta these days. You can find me here and that channel. That's it. For now.
She's a bit meta.
That's a trademark. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't use that.
I'll pay my
here.
dues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Expect the check in the mail. It's coming soon.
And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Friends, I'm Dot. You know, I'm here, there, and everywhere. When Mike lets me over here like twice a week. So I'm here. When I'm not here, you can find me over on Cobalt Press, where I produce their Twitch channel, which has been pretty cool. We've got some shows running right now, some interviews and stuff I do, so check that out. I think we actually got a Kickstarter going right now. I should know that. We do actually have a Kickstarter going right now. You can check that out too. Yeah, then the rest of the time, you know, I get to roll dice and tell stories with each one of these awesome people in different places. So I feel like a pretty lucky little Dot. That's how I feel. I'm going to shut up now. Mike, take us away. Put us in the after show. Do the thing.
That's it. We're out of here, guys. We'll see you next week. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.